Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Winter's Tales, the continuation of this 48-hour extravaganza, this marathon that is making a world, destroying a world, and then making a new world, all in the span of 48 hours. We are being joined by, I think, did we end up with 48 guests as well? Like, it's very close to it. It's somewhere around.
It was very close to, and then we lost a few people to.
And we lost a few people.
We lost a few people to COVID after
they were killed in the Calamity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did they die?
Yeah, they died. We lost a few people. It's fine. We'll mourn those later. There'll be an in memorandum at the end of the 48 hours where we go through the people we've lost in the industry.
As long as
the fade in, fade out. The sad
this joke
music.
is not going to end well if the COVID hits any of them real hard.
Oh god, yeah.
Pull back.
Pull back. No. So I am going to be joined for this game. I've taken the wheel. I've taken over Winter's Tales. I am Robert Hartley, GM, and I'm going to be the GM for this one shot. I'm joined by some wonderful players. We have AJ Winters, I don't know where you are on the screen. I'm not looking at the screen. AJ Winters, the owner, operator, CEO, the amazing mind behind Winter's Tales. I'm joined by Dingo from the Dingo Doodles channel, Dingo's fame. And then I'm joined by two of the Legends of Avantris, the legends that are Legends of Avantris, Mikey and Andy. So we're going to be playing a continuation of the story that has happened over the last 12 and a bit hours now. 13 hours, in fact. Yeah, 13 and a bit hours now that we've been live. We started with AJ's story. We went into the playmat story. And now we're going into sort of chapter 3 of 7. So hopefully you've seen some of these previous ones, and if you haven't, don't worry about it, because I haven't seen them either. So I'm going to be continuing chapter 3 of a book that I haven't read chapters 1 or 2 from. I basically got the Spark Notes versions. I got the Cliff Notes version from Matt right at the very end of his stream, and from that I've made up my own story. So we'll enjoy it one way or another.
I'm excited.
Yeah, let's go around and just tell people, in case I didn't do a good enough job of it, tell people who you are, where they can find you. Whoever wants to start, jump in.
Sure. Hello, I'm AJ. I run this channel. Rob did a really good job introducing me. I've had 5 hours sleep, and I'm in a similar boat to Rob. I ran game 1, and then I handed over the world and the plot to other people, and I've woken up to I don't know what. We'll find out. Then I have to take this over and lead the rest of the games for the day, so I'm excited.
Yeah. I guess I'll go.
I'll handball it down.
Hi, I'm Dingo. I do a channel called Dingo Doodles on YouTube. I animate D&D pretty much like a session or 2 from my campaign that I played. So it's retelling of a campaign. But you can find me on Dingo Doodles on X, Twitter, whatever, and Instagram and all that stuff. So yeah, that's kind of what I do.
Wonderful.
I made chat commands.
Hi, I am Mikey Gilder. I am a greasy clown. I also play Chuckles on Legends of Avantris. And yeah, I'm here with Andy, also from Legends of Avantris.
Hi, my name's Andy. I play Torbeck in one of our more popular campaigns, also with Legends of Avantris, and thank you so much for having us. We're very excited to be here.
Oh, and we just finished, I guess a month ago, the Crooked Moon.
Yeah, how'd it go?
Kickstarter, a folk horror campaign. You can pre-order it still at thecrookedmoon.com.
Was it amazing?
Did it break some records
during the Kickstarter?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, we're very, very thrilled with the response, and we're very excited. We're very hard at work on it. So Excellent. It's going to be a very fun 2024.
Wonderful. Alrighty, so without further ado, let's jump into this episode and see where it takes us. Are you sitting comfortably?
No.
Then we shall begin.
Okay.
Fine.
It has been 11 years since what people are now calling the Day of Destruction. The day that calamity encroached on this world. The hidden god, the god of gravity, emerged, and with it an upheaval of all things controlled by gravity. The tides of the 7 moons, the mountains themselves started rising from the ground, eruptions of volcanoes, Chasms were smashed back together and new ones broken anew in the ground. Utter destruction. What's more is, through the open gateways to the other planes, there now spawned beings beyond comprehension, beings of size incomprehensible to the mortal mind, worms of sorts. The people started to call them Star Eaters, because as they emerged, the stars started to get blotted out. These creatures, 6 in number, approached the 6 moons that represented the 6 gods of this world. And as they approached these moons, the moons seemed to be drained of colour. Not only drained of colour, but drained of the magic and the connection of the 6 gods to this world. 5 of these moons got destroyed entirely, and as the last of the remnants of their magic was sapped from their cores, they exploded, were eaten, and many of their remnants was rained down upon the planet below. The 6th, however, the 6th worm, as it was devouring the moon that represented the god of storms, this worm was encountered by heroes that were up to the task of standing up for what's right, giving their life in the line of destroying these evils. And so it did not fully manage to destroy the moon, leaving behind a crescent of colour to the storm moon. However, by this point, before it was destroyed, the damage was already done. From the destruction of this new god and this new moon, emerging and wreaking havoc with its new tides and new gravity all over the lands, tidal waves and mountains and destruction. With the raining down of the remnants of the old moons onto civilization, about 80% of all life was wiped out, and those that survived were plunged into an apocalyptic state of survival at all costs. So it has been 11 years since the day of destruction, but it has been 10 years since the day of salvation, when the heroes, the saviors as people started to know them, destroyed this last of the worms and banished the other 5 back from whence they came. The saviors for the last 10 years have been, those that remained anyway, have been setting up schools across the land to try and educate people as to what the weaknesses and strengths of these worms, these Star Eaters, were, to better educate and train fighters for if they should ever return for the last 2 remaining moons. You, our heroes of today, are students of such a school. For one reason or another, which we can go into at your discretion, you have decided to take upon yourselves to join one of these schools to learn the skills and talents needed to put yourselves out there as heroes of the land, to help what remnants of civilization there is to recover and regain some sort of hold of normality. So you find yourself at the School of Saviors, where there are tapestries and statues around the place adorning the wondrous jobs of the saviors. These saviors were known as Haste, an arcane trickster tiefling who died in the cause of defeating the Star Eater. Renee, the grave cleric who lost her connection to her own god of death, who is one of the gods who died, or was disconnected, shall we say. Coco, an astral monk kobold, a very wise and well-balanced hero. Muffin, a minotaur barbarian who was the epitome of strength, after whom I'm sure Dingo, your character, is probably emulating yourself in the deeds of Muffin the Minotaur. And Cognac, a fey bard who returned to the Fey lands to train up schools in that land. So with Haste, Renee, Coco, Muffin, and Cognac touted as heroes, you find yourself in a school. This school is in the lands of Masadan, one of the only original countries that is still standing. And that's because Masadan is a very highly religious country. It is a theocracy led by where the religious rule, and it is first and foremost a religious worshipping of the god of storms that I definitely have the name of in front of me, the Churning. I would definitely not just stalling for time to look that up in the document. The Churning, the god of storms, the one that one of the original gods, the only of the original gods to survive, is highly worshipped in this city, especially over the last 10 years, being that he's the only of the remaining gods to still be around. The country has been left largely untouched because the storm god's moon did not rain down upon you, and its people are largely made up of Goliaths, gnomes, dwarves, and then some of the animal folk such as tabaxis and turtles and owlins. Others can be discovered in and around, but in lesser abundance. So while you are at one of these schools, what would you be doing on your sort of day-to-day life? What's your sort of daily schedule looking like? Where do you find yourselves in this moment? Let's go with the Goliath first. Dingo, where is your character located, and what do you look like?
Well, my character, first of all, his name is Dubal, and he would probably be in the gardens or the outside areas that are well kept, and he would be by maybe a small pond. He's probably skipping class or forgot he had class.
Nice. Yeah.
As he's got his little turtle that he has usually on his shoulder, and he puts him down, and he's been talking to him while he's piddle paddling through the pond, as you could probably hear him just be like, well, no, I'm going to talk to Karen. I want to actually I need to actually tell her about my feelings eventually, but right now I want to, I'll keep distance right now, but no, you sassy.
Pooples sort of looks up at you and just...
Well, no, I can't just kill her. I have to actually talk to her. No, we talked about this. There's boundaries here.
The head goes down and starts to nibble on some grass at the side of the bank.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk about that later.
Where do we in this moment find your character, Mikey?
Oh, my name is Gary Goodberry. I'm an auto gnome, so I'm basically kind of a robot covered in felt. I look like a Muppet. I also like to frequent pizza establishments. I'd be in the library studying all of the books on magic. I'm dressed like a wizard, and so I'm trying to learn the spell Goodberry. It's my greatest quest. I haven't succeeded, and I like to learn about astronomy. My favorite planet is the sun because it's the king of planets. And also I learn about astrology because I've had no luck in my dating life. So astronomy and astrology and learning Goodberry are my three noble academic pursuits.
I love that this is very clearly setting the tone for this thing. I'm deep, dark, apocalyptic. And we're this is what the characters are. I love it. It's a good comedic take on it's what they say about comedy, isn't it? You set them up and then you strike them down. So you have noticed in your studies of magic, you have noticed that the books of old, the books of more than a decade before, talked of multiple different types of magic: divine magic that came from the gods, natural magics that came from the earth and the universe itself, and then arcane magics where you can manipulate these. And you have you've discovered that all the ways that they talk about them is very different to the ways you experience them now. Since the destruction of 11 years ago, the god magic is very difficult to come by. The clerics of this world only get magics from the ones that are still in existence. Many of the divinities that worshipped those other gods, the god of ice, the god of fire, the god of death, these are all gods that have been disconnected. Some say killed, others more hopeful among you say that they still exist out there on different planes. Their just connection to this world through their moons has been destroyed. The nature magic still exists, but it is a lot more wild. Anything using or incorporating nature magic can have much more risk of something going awry. Whereas the arcane magic, the ones that are studied, they still work. It's just people who study them is much fewer and further between. Yourself, as a sorcerer, you would find that you have arcane magic that comes from your own innate abilities, and so your magic it still has a risk of going wild from time to time, especially in areas of the world where things are less organized, where there is more chaos, where there is more evidence of the destruction from the previous events. But it is a lot more controlled than, say, a druid's or a ranger's would be. So you've studied a little magic. You're trying to work out the magic of finding true love through astronomy, through astrology, and it's not going super well for you, I imagine. Where do we find your character, AJ?
Oh, okay. Mykonol is probably in the cafeteria area, some sort of like eating and meeting place for students. And is basically going around and trying to bless everyone's food in the name of the Holy Trinity, the latest gods that were able to come into the world, because as a cleric, the old gods, they're gone. I need magic, and therefore I worship and dedicate myself now to the Trinity. So I'm going around and just kind of sticking my fingers into other people's food.
Blessed be from the Holy Trinity, blessed be. Oh, that's wet. Ugh, all right, blessed be, blessed be.
There's a let's call them a tabaxi that hisses at you when you get close to their food.
That's a bit rude.
Leave the food alone. They're always coming over and touching it all. Put your grubby fingers. You've just gone over there and put your fingers in. What if I'm allergic to what they've just had, and you just touch their food and then you touch my food?
Well, I've blessed it
I
with
bless
the
my
Holy
food
Trinity.
my own way. You're blessing it by putting peanuts in it or something, for all I know.
Hisses at you again. And then just scoops it up with their own fingers and eats it completely ironically, just like God knows where their own hands have been.
People are so rude.
Scrim, where do we find you at this moment?
Yeah, so today I am playing Scrim Stabascotch. I am a goblin rogue of the thief variety. When the Calamity would have started, Scrim would have been a young man, maybe late teens, a con artist, a common thief. When the Calamity struck, he would have had a change of heart, and he would have realized that now, people need help. There's a tragedy that has happened. And he would have devoted himself to this school and the studies of history and learning about the Calamity and the gods and things like that, and hoping to maybe right what has gone wrong. He tries his best, but he's not very good at his studies. He's not really used to honest work. And when all is said and done, at the end of the day, even though Scrim may have had a change of heart, he's hoping that there may be buried, sunken treasures and riches lost to time that might be recoverable after society and the peoples have been stabilized.
Oh yes, with 80% of the world dying in the months and years following the destructions, there are a lot of ruins of old civilizations that were never able to be looted. There are also lots of bodies out there outside of the walls of Masadan. There are lots of bodies littering the ground that were never able to be buried or properly dealt with. So there's a lot of destruction, lots of places to loot, lots of things to encounter out there. And speaking of out there, the arch cleric Celinda, she comes to you a what are they called? An Asimar woman, darker skin and a holy light that sort of hovers around her head and her eyes. She comes to each of you in turn and requests your presence in the trials. There is trials held every few months to sort of a test of sorts. It is a crash course kind of a school where they weed out the useless very quickly. There's a high culling rate in this school of like, nah, you're not picking this up quickly enough. Your heart's not in it. You've not got hero material, and you're being brought to one of these trials. I will have each of you roll your best ability check, and we'll see how well you did in these trials. So choose whichever it is, and then tell me what it is you do during one of the trials. The trials are basically to find your own skills, so they're not like a one-size-fits-all SATs. I think with that face, Dingo had rolled really well on the first roll of the game at the thing she's meant to be good at. So we'll come back to you, Dingo. What do we get, people?
I am going to roll acrobatics, as that is my best skill.
Okay.
I'm defending that choice in that Scrim is dexterous. He's good with a blade. He's good. He's using his thief skills to perhaps be good for reconnaissance and recovery of items if we're being sent out on some sort of search and recovery type mission. And with that, I rolled an 18 with a +7, which is going to be a 25.
Nice. With the 25, you ace the trials, and Celinda and the faculty, I suppose, are very impressed, clearly impressed, and there's a few murmurs of excitement at them as you finish your sort of parkour obstacle course that they've set up for you. There's a few like mechanical dummies or mannequins or so that up out of the ground, and you can deal with them with quick succession. Eventually, you arrive at the faculty, and they give you the nod of approval and say, through to the next stage. We have a job we need to discuss with you, and they sort of gesture you through to a back room, as it were. What'd you get, Mikey?
Well, I'm going with persuasion. Because
Okay,
I
nice.
took a debate club, and I did
Yeah.
my thesis of astronomy, trying to find all the stars that went missing because of the Star Eater. That's my side purpose for my builder.
Yeah.
I rolled a 3,
Just-
so let's say that's an 11.
An 11 is much better. Than so for you come away being like, I did not do well at that. Like a normal person would be like, that was average. The faculty is unimpressed, to say the least. They're like, Celinda comes to you and says, Gary, I know that you can do better. I know that you were not exerting yourself to your full extent here. You were distracted about the Goodberry again, weren't you? You were thinking about good.
Yeah,
I saw it when you brought up the topic of the vines during your argument, and then I saw you sort of glaze out in your eyes as you started thinking about Goodberries again during the argument, didn't you?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
really
yeah,
thought that, the analogy to the stars being good berries was going to land, and it really didn't.
It really didn't. It's I'm going to continue to say it, Gary. You need to give up on this Goodberry. You're not of the nature magic persuasion. You'll never be able to cast this nature magic. It is gone forever. Those that can cast it are long forgotten. They are the druids and rangers of this world that are no longer able to cast it because of the wildness of the magic. So look,
Well, sure.
I'm going to go easy on you. I think it was a passable. I think it was a passable performance, and I think had you been given better quality, a better time to prepare, I think you would have done a better job. Why don't you head on through to the back room? We have a job that I think you'll be good for.
Thank you for not forgetting me. I'll never forget it.
AJ, how'd you go? What'd you roll?
I think this is just too perfect. I was also rolling a persuasion check
Okay.
because it is my highest score.
Were you debating with Gary? Then?
No,
Were you on the other
definitely
side?
not. I think being that I wouldn't say my character is very good at social things, but more at convincing people that they are worth listening to and a good leader, even if they maybe aren't. So I think I give a rousing speech on the magic in the world and the Trinity and how wonderful they are, because I rolled an 18.
Nice.
Which is surprising. So
Very good, very good.
I think I just call out to the faculty and to the arch cleric.
I believe that I should be a great leader in the future as a cleric dedicated to the Trinity, for they embody everything that this world should be, striving for greatness and power, and also influencing the magic to grow as a society.
There's a murmuring and a sort of looking amongst each other from the faculty, and you make out the arch cleric Celinda. She says, "See, I told you. This new power is unknown to the likes of me, but for young ones who have known less, the Trinity could well be as strong as the old gods. In time, perhaps a follower of her skill and devotion could come in useful for such a task."
Yes, I am devoted. I like right next to them.
just the camera was like doing a 2-shot like over the shoulder of both of these two faculty members talking, and then you just like these like Harrigan ears just into the 2-shot. They're like, yes, okay. Head on through to the back room. We have one more trial to do today, and then we have a job for you.
Thank you.
Does somebody want to bring in Duples? They bring in Duples. Duple, what ability do you choose, and how does it go?
Okay, so Duples walks in. This Goliath, 6-something. I don't know how tall they get. I think they're like
they get up to like 8 feet tall in most settings.
Okay, he's like 7-something. This big macho guy. He's just under the roof. Like, all right, I am here. I am here to defeat the evil in this world, as I am one of and will be the greatest necromancer there ever was. And then
there's a murmuring of what the heck, necromancer? And Celinda goes, no.
And then he pulls out his weapon, which is just like an old skeleton leg or like half corpse.
You got the bottom half of some skeleton. It's still got some of its hip bone like into the leg joint that's just kind of molded up with sinews and tendons that are still there. You just bring it out, it's like flopping around like a.
And it's got pants on, and it's just like he's had it for a long time, and he's just like about to hit one of the dummies, and then with the nat 1 that I rolled, it just falls apart and goes off into the audience.
Yeah, the sinews that have been straining and threatening to explode for the last several days that you've been using this particular weapon finally give out. The patella goes off of the knee, the knee just explodes of this thing, and the thigh bone just and just almost hits one of the faculty members. So it was a nat 1 for a total of. What's your best skill?
That would be 9.
Total of 9. All right. Whoop! There's like a shield of faith just quickly up over one of them. Celinda just casts this clerical divine healing over the one that got smacked in the head by this femur. She says,
"The old one. That the old one. It fall apart sometime."
I have told you many times now, Duples. You are not a necromancer. This is not magic that you are casting. This is you're wielding body parts. I don't even know where you're finding all of these body parts.
I go outside.
You're not meant to leave. You're not meant to leave Masadan because of how many dangerous creatures there are out there. You're finding bodies of the fallen.
Yes, because I recycle.
Okay. How about?
Do you not believe in recycling?
How about? Because we already know your necromantic powers are so incredible and so powerful, why don't you show us your skill with a sword? And they show you that they've set up like this arena with these like mechanical dummies that can come around. Not too dissimilar to the Autonome. There's some mechanical dummies that are just around the place, just not covered in felt. These ones. And then a weapon rack over by the door. They're like, to choose one of the weapons and have a swing at some of these. We already know your necromancy is incredible, but let's show us your fighting skill as well. Make me an attack roll with one of the.
They
weapons.
go hand in hand, but why don't I just? And he pulls out like another fucking leg.
It's the other leg of the same guy. You had them crossed over your back like fucking Witcher. And you just
he just pulls out like, let me show you how necromancy is done. And he's going to use the leg and just hit one of the dummies. All right, let's see how this goes. Okay, that's better. That's 15.
You smack it with such force that there's this clanging, resounding crack of the metal and wood and bone. There's a huge bone appears in the femur, and you're like, yes, necromancy. She's like, there's some murmuring from each of them, and one of them's like, those have withstood much stronger blows than that in the past. And Cylinder says, yes, you see the size of Dupel, right? This is why I wanted him for the task. Dupel, we have a task for you. Come and follow me through to the last room.
Yes, of course.
She enters into this sort of rectory kind of a room with the four of you now situated. You know of each other. You've seen each other around. Maybe you've helped each other in certain situations around the school. But I wouldn't say you're necessarily the closest of friends. It's up to you how well you feel of each other. But you're all sitting around a table, as Cylinder says. There has been some rumors of quests. We are sure you have heard of them. What's the word for people who've graduated a school? Alumni. Other alumni have been sent off on certain quests to see where the elements of the gods, the moons, where they fell. We have, through our studies of, and she gestures to you, Gary, through our studies of astronomy, we have discovered that the very core of these moons was the thing that was tied to the gods. The gods had their avatars through the moons themselves. The powers that came from the gods came from the core of the moon. It is theorized among myself and the faculty that if we find the core of such moons, we find the essence of whether the gods are indeed dead or simply disconnected. Of course, we hope for the latter, because finding such a core will allow us to begin work on returning the gods to their former glory, to potentially even returning the moons, given enough time.
Glory to the gods.
You have been chosen for such a task. We have discovered the core of the Evergrowth moon. The Evergrowth, as I'm sure you are familiar from your studies of the gods, was the god of all things plant life, all things natural. We think
including Goodberry.
She face palms. Yes, yes. In theory,
I don't care about Goodberries at all.
In theory, if we return the Evergrowth to
lie.
his once glory, then nature magic will return to a form of stability, and with it, perhaps Goodberry. Yes.
Well, shucks.
The problem is...
This is what I was built to do, is to save the moon.
Right, indeed. And she looks at your tiny gnomish stature. That is what you were built to do. And she looks back through the door where two of the other faculty members are disposing of something that looks amazingly like you as a training dummy out in the hall that has gotten huge cracks through it now from the... She's like, yes, that's what you were trained to do. And then just throw it unceremoniously. Throw it unceremoniously into a like skip that's just now in the room. Says, with the recovery of this moon parts, we hope that for the return of the stability of nature magic, and that will make recovering the others easier. The problem is the moon has been located in the city of Seven Bridges. You would all know that the city of Seven Bridges is the capital city of your once former enemy empire. The empire of, what was it again? Somewhere in the notes. Something like...
Ceridian?
What was the... Ceridian. Ceridian? Is that it?
The Ceridian Empire.
Ceridian Empire. The Ceridian Empire, the former empire that your empire was at war with, your nation was at war with, the capital city is the city of Seven Bridges. So called because it was created by a chasm that opened. In one wall of this chasm had silver mines. In the other wall there was huge ores of copper. And so the people that settled there had these 7 bridges that connected the two halves of this city. And then they mined a whole bunch of copper and silver and gained a whole bunch of wealth through that. And then with it, a whole bunch of technology as well. They were a very tech-heavy civilization that used solar tech, powered by the sun. The greatest of all the planets, some would say. They used the solar energy to create and power this sort of high-tech, sort of steampunkish equipment. So a very highly civilized and very wealthy society. until it became the very epicenter of all of the devastation that happened. The princess in question, right at the very beginning, the epilogue there, the prologue, sorry, the princess in question came from the monarchy of the Ceridian Empire, and so that is where the entire thing began. The chasm immediately closed back up as part of the terrain difficulties of the land, snapping and smashing all of the bridges. All of the city came down in ruins, essentially. And so it is an entire city of ruins. For you there, Skrin, there is a very good chance that the City of Seven has not only a lot of loot, but valuable technology-based loot, like really high-tech stuff, magical equipment maybe. There's even if you can get down into the silver and copper mines, a lot of wealth to be found there as well. So they've asked you to head north, out of Masadan and towards the once Ceridian Empire. They warn you, however, that it is out in the wilderness outside of the safety of Masadan. There are a lot of post-apocalyptic dangers. Bandits and people that have taken the law into their own hands to create their own civilizations. Monsters that have evolved or grown into the niches left behind by the absence of people and the like. Is there anything you would like to do to ask of Celinda before she sends you on your way? Is there any preparations you want to do?
What I'll say is when we find the core, what do we do with it? Should we bring it back here for safekeeping? We
are unclear on exactly the purposes of this core. We would like it to be returned here if it is possible to do so. This is why we are sending. Insert name here. What's your name again, AJ?
Mykonol.
Mykonol. This is why we are sending Mykonol with you as a cleric and a conduit to the gods. We are hoping that Mykonol may be able to converse with what is left of the Evergrowth. If you can return the core to us, we can study it further.
Oh, we're like a perfect team here. I mean, come on. I was built for this. I'm going to lead us in there. We're going to find this thing. You guys are going to keep us safe, Gary and Dooples, and then Meek and all, you're going to figure out how to grab this thing and bring it back home. We're good.
Yeah. Yes.
Super confident.
It will feed all the people with good berries, and there'll be no more hunger.
That is a blessed dream
Yes.
given to you
possible.
by the Holy Trinity, and you should follow that dream. You should hold on to it as tight as you can, because dreams go, and people die.
This is
Little
the
bit morbid there, Mykonol.
Oh,
we just
sorry.
raise them back up. That's fine. Oh no, I'm
You
doing
are not
sorry
a necrom. Just go. She sort of dismisses you out of the room, and the time is yours to do with what you will. I will pause to say we've had some donations coming in, which can help to turn the tide of certain roles and things in the game. While if you are donating money to the game, you can give disadvantage to the players. Is that right? Can they troll you with disadvantage?
They can also
remind
troll
me
us
then?
with disadvantage. That you could give
They can
advantage.
give you disadvantage. They can give you
advantage to the DM.
advantage. They can give me advantage. You should do
Mhm.
that. You can trigger a wild surge or a chaotic event. You
do
can do that one. Do that one for sure. Maybe there's a Trask below the ground. Who knows?
Shut up.
You can do a whole bunch of things. Where can they find this list of things that they could do, AJ, and the prices of them?
Right below your camera, it is displayed on the
Right
overlay.
here. There
Yeah,
you go.
right
Right there. So Samantia donated $10. What does that one give you?
So Samantia has given an advantage to the DM to cause chaos.
Ooh, okay, thank you,
We
Samantia.
also
Appreciate that.
received an advantage to each of us from Melville.
We had a $20 from Melville for an advantage for each of you. We had a 5 from A Lover's Rose, which is an advantage to one person in particular.
Yes, we haven't got
You-
an indication of who that advantage went to, so a Lover's Rose if you want to let us know.
A Lover's Rose, yeah, if you're in the chat, let us know who you were giving advantage to with your $5 donation there.
And same with
and then we
Scout.
got Yeah, same with Scout as well. If you've got an idea of who you want to have your advantage, please do so.
Mhm.
All right. So you set off on the road north to Ceridian Empire. How do you think you travel? What would your characters be doing? Would you attempt to find mounts? Would you try and persuade one of the others in the party to carry you? Is there like teleportation you want to do? How would you get from one place to another?
I mean, Duple would just walk. He just starts walking.
Trudging along.
Yeah.
Do you? There's as soon as you get out of the sort of confines of the more civilized lands, past where the people have gone out and actually buried the dead, there is an abundance of now mostly decayed corpses, mostly skeletons or carcasses, remains of things. There are a few more fresh bodies as well, from people that have just died in the wilderness. so you can replenish your weapons as you go.
No weapon.
I cast raise the dead. You just pick up the dead guy.
I raise the dead. Yeah, I use the dead for my will.
Just firemen carry this dead corpse. All right. How about the rest of you? What are you doing on the journey?
Scrim would be with Duples. I think Scrim would be used to walking. Would be okay with walking. I think Scrim would be more comfortable being nimble, like not being stuck on horseback and having to try to maneuver a mount across these dangerous, corpse-filled battlefields.
All right. And how about you, Gary?
Yeah, no, I would walk too because I've heard that the greatest adventure is what lies ahead, and in all of my favorite books that I've read in the library, they're always walking for 80 years to destroy a ring or something. I would prefer to walk. They didn't ride any ponies.
They probably should have. Some prancing ponies.
Eagles. That's ridiculous.
Big birds. The big eagles.
and Myconel, what are you doing? How do you like to walk or traverse?
Well, I hop mostly, being a Haragon.
Boing,
And I'm
boing.
good. I'm good with my legs. I'm pretty good at that.
Is it like a two-footed hop, or is it like a bunny hop, or is it like a kind of skipping? Is it like a one to the other?
I assume it's a little bit of a skip.
A little bit of a skip, just way too cheery. You look around the desolate landscape of doom and destruction, and there's literal rings of fire in the horizon. The atmosphere has been clouded with so much of the moon dust still that there's a constant array of this dusk. There's just broken trees and suffocated plants that have not seen sun in a while, and there's just this bunny rabbit just skipping along. All right, I'll have a perception check from each of you, please, as you get closer to the Ceridian Empire.
Not bad. That's an 18 for Scrim.
Nice.
17 for Gary Goodberry.
Ooh, pretty good.
12.
7.
A 12 and a 7. Yeah, you find a lot of cool bodies on the ground, but you're not paying attention to much else. With the 17 and the 18 for Gary and Scrim, as you are in what was once the no man's land of the war between these two nations, you hear in the near distance the unmistakable crack of thunder. You look to the weather and realize it's not raining. It is not. There's no clouds around. This is usually indicative of some sort of thunder magic. Someone is harnessing the remnants of the storm god, and bringing in that sort of a magic. There is a flash of lightning just in the distance, just once over the hill of the horizon, a few 100 feet away. So you know that just behind that hill there is some sort of storm magic brewing.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. How do they have storm magic?
I don't know. I mean, Gary, this is kind of your thing. Don't you know a little bit more about this than I do?
I kind of got distracted. I'm more about nature magic and magic about looking at the stars and the moons and stuff.
We could ask them.
I think that's where we're headed, though.
Yeah, we could ask them.
Wait, maybe it's a core of the storm god, right? Oh wait, no, that moon still exists. Never mind. I'll
As
go
you
back
say
to my
so,
theories.
you look up to the sky, and you do see that it is still very faintly in the sky as a crescent moon right now.
No, I
Maybe.
don't know either. Let's just ask them, like you guys said.
Of it? Yeah, we go ask them
Yeah.
what they are doing.
All
There's-
right.
I will go in the name of the Holy Trinity. I will present myself as a holy cleric. Nothing shall go wrong.
Oh,
And as you say
that's
that
a great
with these fateful words, nothing could go wrong. The camera cuts to you being on top of the hill, cresting over, and a lightning bolt shooting past your heads. as kind of an errant lightning goes amiss. You look down into this sort of a bit of a dip, a bit of a valley, and you see that there are 6 what can only be described as elementally infused bandits that are encroaching on a family of 3. The family of 3 are trundling along with a donkey and a bit of a caravan of their own sort of possessions, and they're definitely under some sort of ambush or attack or some kind of highway robbery, it seems, of these elemental creatures. They look all humanoid in form, but they're a variety of different races. There's a human, a tiefling, a dwarf, a couple others, and they've got these sort of thunderous, sonorous bubbles around them, and then some of them have got lightning flashing between their fingers, and you can hear them basically saying things like, "Hand it over and you might survive." And the father of this family is kind of reaching for weapons and trying to defend himself, but realizing he's very outnumbered. What do you want to do? I also got a $10 donation from Joe Baby for advantage. Thank you,
All
Joe
of
Baby.
our training and all of our schooling has led to this moment. We can be heroes right now.
Yes,
Well, we can
yes.
ask them first, right? We get to still figure out how they did it, right? Like,
I think we
Don't
steal
want
their
to
tech.
know.
I think we kill them and steal their tech.
I agree. I'm gonna cast Fireball. I'm gonna reach into my robe and I'm just gonna pull out a Molotov cocktail.
That's
I
amazing.
mean,
Magic.
fire
I'm
against
stunned.
lightning should work. It like rock, paper, scissors, right? But fire, lightning, and
Rock.
dirt. I don't know. Like,
Effective.
All right. So I will have. It sounds like you're going in with attacking and or asking them questions. So either way, we'll go into an initiative order so that we can keep this in some kind of semblance. We go into a bullet time as the Molotov is just flung through the air and it's about to smash down. We pause. We see how things are going. Should take my notes.
Jesus.
Where's my note app? There it is.
Also for Gary has 4 advantages
Nice.
gifted from the
What's up?
chat. And
Oh, was one of those $10 not for me?
no, it was for you. There was
Oh, it
just
was?
2
Nice.
separate donations to Gary as well, on top of 1 to Scrim and Gary and 1 to each of the players. So Gary has 4.
Jesus. And these
Still-
advantages are a +1, or are they a reroll, or what?
they're
Advantage?
advantage, yeah. So
All right.
use it
So
as
cash in those advantages because you got them.
2 to Scrim.
spend 'em
I
'cause
put
you
them
got
in
'em.
the I put them in our group chat, and then
Wonderful. Thank
1
you.
to Duple and 1 to Mykonol, and then 2 to the DM.
Wonderful. All right.
I'm using
So
one.
you're going to use one right now on initiative. Good. Okay. What did we get? Who's got above a 20? Anyone?
I have a dirty
Bob,
20.
You've got a
16
dirty
plus
20.
20.
Ooh.
Wonderful. All right. Let me double check for them as well. Okay, that's pretty good. All right. So we're going with Scrim first, and then anybody in the 15 to 20-ish.
19.
19. Oh, nice. Very good. Over here with Mykonol.
It's like Panadol, but with
Mykonol. I did say earlier, I was like, AJ's playing Mykonol. Ask your doctor if Mykonol is right for you.
yeah, that's what I was going for. A cleric with a name that sounds like a medicine.
Yeah, it certainly does. All right. Anybody 10 to 15-ish?
I got 13.
You can't overdose on
Nice.
Mykonol. That's the best part.
But it will give you the
You
shits.
know that.
You're done.
Just it gives you irritation. Mostly the
All right,
grating
we've got
voice.
Duples. And then bringing up the rear would be Gary. What'd you get, Gary?
Oh, I got a 16. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Not
Other
bad,
people
not
were talking probably.
bad. Yeah, I missed it. Okay, so Gary's not bringing up the rear. Gary's on here. Okay, so we've got Gary and then Duples bringing up the rear. Okay. So initiating this fight, kicking it off, is the Molotov smashing. Let's see if it's on the ground or next to one of them or on one of them. Gary, just roll me an attack roll, a ranged attack roll with your Molotov, unless it's actually Fireball.
Oh, I'm actually gonna cast Fireball. I can
Is it
wait for
actually
my-
Fireball? Awesome. So it's a dex save from them then. Are you making a point of trying to? Because I said they were surrounding this caravan, so you're trying to get all of the bad guys in it by entering it onto the caravan in the middle, or are you trying to off to one side to only get a couple of them?
Well, I'll
You
give
can
it
get
a
all of the bad guys
shot,
within
but
the
I'm not
radius.
promising anything. Yeah, I'm gonna try to basically at least get off like a couple of them. I'm not gonna try to firebomb the entire like the caravan.
Just right at the caravan in the middle to get
Just
all the
like,
bad
you
guys.
know,
Oops.
It is
wherever I
possible.
can.
All right, so off to the side, you're gonna get 2 of them within it. I'm gonna roll for them. Dex saves. Ooh, that's pretty good. What's your DC?
16, I think. Yep. Oh wait,
Yeah,
hold on.
17.
Yeah, 16.
I got a 17 and a 19, so they both succeed on their Dex save, but they'll take half the damage.
Oh wait, can I just roll this? I'm just gonna roll it right here. Oh, that's easy. Oh, look at that. 20 points of fire damage.
Nice.
Ooh, nice. All right, so they'll take half of that because of
Pretty
avoiding
good.
it, and let's see. I'm gonna roll a d6 see which 2 it hits.
In an attempt to
Uh,
catch Scrim up to the level of advantages that Gary has, Scrim now has 5 advantages.
Oh my gosh.
Holy shit!
Thank you to Scout and Ripper. That's
All right,
insane.
you're gonna need to be cashing these things in. All right. So. Okay, it is going to hit the dwarf and the hobbit, and it's going to do 10 points of damage to each of them. They're not looking good, and you see that. Oh, actually, they might have to. They both fail on their con saves to maintain the abilities that they were casting on themselves. So the thunderous bubble on them pops. There's some thunder noise
Ooh.
explodes from them, but emerges harmlessly. There's just fire emerges, and then whatever alcohol you used in the Molotov, it's a highly evaporating one, so it just kind of goes up in a flame like a flash paper and doesn't set the whole thing on fire. They turn towards you. They realize that you're there. Top of the round, Scrim.
All right. I will use my cunning action to dash as a bonus action.
Nice, yeah.
I'm rolling
Easily
my,
make it. Yeah, you'll easily
draw-
make it with
yeah,
that
draw
and your
my
dash. You
short
can get to
sword.
one of them.
and like a little green blur, I take off and I go for the bandits that were not near the exploding Molotov cocktail, and
Excellent.
attempt to make an attack on one of them. I'm gonna cash in on one of my advantages for this attack, so I can trigger my
Nope.
sneak attack.
Ooh.
Yes, good idea.
That is going to be a 17 to hit.
Ooh, 17 hits. Roll damage.
That would be 1d6 plus my sneak attack of 4d6.
Hell yeah. He
He's gonna-
succeeds his con save. Oh, actually, we'll see what the damage is first, but I think
15,
he'll
17,
succeed.
18, 19, plus 4, 23 total points of damage.
Woo-wee! Alright, D4 to see which one that you've gone for.
I do like a quick maneuver and I get behind him and I run my short sword up under this guy's rib cage.
Yeah, it does go into the body somewhat. He tenses up and manages to avoid any vital organs, but he is looking wounded with that. He succeeds on his con save against the damage, which means he's continued the spell on. And because you made a melee attack against him, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh, 19 plus 7, that's going to be a 26.
Oh, 26 is definitely going to succeed. So you'll take only half,
Very
which
nimble.
is 4 points of thunder damage. It's kind of like the reverse of Booming Blade. As you pop the thunderous damage on him, it explodes outwards like popping a bubble, and all of that thunder damage just smashes towards you. Very nimbly, you dive out of the way of it, but you're alerting thunderous cracks in the area. We move on to Myconol.
Okay. Myconol is going to just connect very strongly to the new gods. But something goes awry, and instead I am gonna cast Moonbeam
Nice.
towards one of these bandits.
Very appropriate.
Yes.
What is the $50 donation, by the way?
Oh, the $50 donation is a wild magic surge.
All right, let's see what happens when you wildly cast Moonbeam on this guy.
Yes.
So cast the Moonbeam first, and then roll me a percentile once the Moonbeam.
Okay, so the Moonbeam is a con save of 12.
Alrighty. Which ones are you trying to get into it? It's a 20-foot diameter, 10-foot radius, or is it a 20-foot radius?
40-foot high cylinder.
40-foot high cylinder. What radius?
5-foot radius.
Oh, 5-foot radius, yeah. So it's a relatively small one. You can only get one guy in it. Which one are you going for? There's the wounded tiefling, there's the dwarf and the hobbit that have taken some damage, and then there's the untouched human, elf, and Goliath.
Let's do the wounded tiefling. I feel like
All right,
I'll
try and
I'll
finish him
take
off.
them out. Yeah.
With his 4 Constitution save, that's probably not going to be enough. So he's going to succumb to this. So roll the damage.
Moonbeam!
Coup de grace.
Okay, roll the damage, which is 2d10. Hells yeah. Okay, that would be 7. 7 points of
7
damage.
total?
Yep, didn't do
Alright,
well.
7 points of damage, which unfortunately is not enough to good Grime. He's wounded from it, and this radiant light. It's probably because the moons are so relatively weak. But the light that you see from the now it was a charcoal moon and it turned amethyst in the second game. The amethyst moon that is the god of gravity. Instead of like a radiant beam from above like the moonlight often is, it is an almost imperceptible shimmering kind of like a heat wave where the gravity of that particular ring, because you're pulling on the one existing moon, the one majorly existing moon, the god of gravity, the gravity is just suddenly increased and multiplied, and his bones just take a little bit of damage from being pulled into the ground temporarily before it disappears, or before the effect disappears. The moonbeam stays, right? All right, then roll me a wild magic surge, please, because you accidentally called on a god that you were not actually worshipping.
Yep, that's correct.
I'm going to be using my own homebrewed wild magic table that I came up with as part of my own anniversary stream once.
Percentile?
Percentile, please.
That is an 84.
84?
Yes.
I will have a d4 from you. Roll 1d4, and then I need another d4 from you.
Ah, okay.
This is not going to be good for the rest of this quest.
The first one is a 2.
3 or a 4. Okay, good.
And
then the second one is a...
Second one is a 4.
Okay, so 1 is your left arm, 2 is your right arm, 3 is your left leg, and 4 is your right leg. What handedness is Myconol?
The one that's not about to be affected.
Which numbers did I just say?
I don't know. Myconol is right-handed.
The wrong choice. Your right arm, which was number 2. What was the second number on the dice? The second
4.
d4? Oh, fuck. Oh, this is bad. One randomly chosen limb of yours goes numb for the next 1d4 hours. So your right arm goes numb for the next 4 hours. So as you cast, what did you cast with? Is it a cleric's amulet or something?
Yeah, I used my mace to like
Your
a
mace.
wand.
So you hold your mace out, and you were trying to cast something, but moonbeam happens instead. The gravity from the mood of gravity seems to amplify, and then immediately on your mace just drops down to your side as your right arm goes completely numb. Great. All right, that's the magic, and you can thank who was it that donated the 50?
Lufish.
There you go. Thank you, Lufish.
Thanks, Luf.
Then that is your turn. Was that your whole turn? Nothing but the turn?
That was my whole turn, nothing but the turn, because I feel like I'm just gonna be very much affected by the fact I just dropped my mace and my arm doesn't work. I think that's taking my mind.
We are going to go to the baddies then, and the tiefling, heavily wounded with a knife semi in him, is going to turn towards the goblin and say, "I want to be heroes!" and cast Thunderwave on you. I need a con save from you, please. A con save because it's Thunderwave. Is it con or is it strength?
I'm not very 14.
Yeah, that's going to fail. You are going to get pushed backwards from him 15 feet, and you're going to fall prone. That's going to be 9 points of damage. He thunders you backwards. He slams you down near the still semi-singed dwarf, who is then going to bring up his hands and bring it down. He failed his con save to remember his spell earlier, so he's just going to go for his weapon. He's going to bring a dagger down on you. He's got advantage because you're prone. And he's going to hit you for a 20-something to hit, which is going to hit. And that's just going to be 6 points of piercing damage to you.
Oof.
That's the tiefling and the dwarf. Let's go with the... we're going to have Goliath on Goliath action here. You can pay-per-view on some channels for that. Goliath is going to turn around to you, Goliath, and he's going to just thrust his hand forwards, and he's going to cast Lightning Lure, try and grab you and bring you to him. I think that's an attack roll from memory.
It's like, Ron, is that you?
What's your armor
Bravo!
class? What's your armor class? He gets a 13.
That does not hit.
Are you wearing metal?
Yeah, I do believe so. Oh wait. I am wearing. Crap. Just give me a sec.
I mean,
Find my-
Barbarian Goliath, I would assume they're not wearing metal, but maybe.
I don't know.
I'm not a barbarian. I'm a
Fighter, not barbarian.
Oh
Not
yeah,
fighter.
you'll have metal on you then, I'm assuming.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Wearing. What's your armor class? Sorry, it's a.
It's a 19, so yeah.
19,
I'm
yeah,
pretty
definitely
sure
wearing
I
some
have-
sort of
Yeah,
metal.
I'm definitely wearing.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him the shock and grasp feature of the advantage on the attack then, so that takes it to a 22 to hit. So he does hit you. He hits you for 7 points of lightning damage, and then he can pull you 10 feet towards him. So you land about 10 feet away from him. Get over here.
Ron,
Sweet
what would your mother say?
It's been so long, Dopal. Let's have it out. Then that leaves the elf and the human. Let's go with and the hobbit as well. Elf, human, and hobbit. The hobbit got smashed by a Molotov and didn't like that, so he is going to shout at the elf. Gary's normally my go-to name, but Simon, come back over with the fire.
Good day.
And Simon, the human, is going to blast a lightning wave at you. I need a dexterity saving throw from you, Gary.
Oh no. Oh,
Yeah.
that'll be a natural 20, folks. You gotta give it
Oh,
up.
nice.
Natural 20
Just kind of
does
knees-
not need any of the 5 advantages that
Yeah.
I don't need any of that.
Knees just kind of buckle and the lightning goes over your head. You feel that it goes into like bullet time, and we see the hairs on your felt costume just kind of stand up a little bit from the static electricity. Excellent. All right, that's the human. We've got the hobbit and the elf, who they don't want to go for the big guy, who's just been pulled closer. Do they try and finish off the? I think they gang up on the goblin. Goblin, you're going to have 2 more people on you, so they run over to you. You're prone. They're both going to have advantage on you. The elf has got lightning, but he can't do it with his friends there. Let's see. Is he stupid enough for that? Yeah, with a net 1 he is. The hobbit's going to run up first and try and hit you with a blade. He's got advantage, so that's a net 20. All right, nat 20s in my games, by the way, they do maximum that you can possibly have rolled, including sneak attack or smite or anything like that, and then you roll on top of it again. So that's going to be, thankfully for you, I rolled a 1 on that, so that's a 5 plus his modifier, so that is 8 points of piercing damage from the crit. Then the elf is unfortunately stupid enough to then use to release his lightning into you. You have a dexterity saving throw. You have disadvantage because you're prone. You can expend one of your
many advantages.
one of your many advantages to cancel that out if you want.
Cash in on an advantage to make it straight up.
Yeah.
All right.
15 total.
All right. 15 is actually what you needed, so you succeed. The allies unfortunately do not succeed on either of those because they're within 5 feet of you, and he was stupid enough to. So they're going to take the full damage, and you have evasion at this level as a rogue, right?
I do.
And
That's correct.
if you
So I'll
succeed
take
on a
that.
dex save, you take nothing. So how you described to me, you're prone on the ground. 2 guys have just stabbed you with daggers, and then another one blasts you with lightning from his hands. Unlimited power. How do you somehow take no damage and they take the damage? What happens?
Again, I have this nimble squatness, this fury of the small, and I'm able to kind of like tuck and roll out of the way. Even though I'm bleeding and I'm a little beat up, I very quickly roll away from the rest of the group as this kind of AoE explosion happens.
You kind of roll out of the way, and as you do so, that one of them has stuck a dagger into and it's kind of stuck into your leather, and so it comes with you. And as the dagger comes with you, it pulls him into the line of path of where you were, and his arm gets extended outwards. He gets hit by the lightning, and because he's next to the other guy, it jumps across from him to the other guy. They both get shocked for 15. Was it 15? No, 7 points of lightning, which takes the hobbit to wounded. And the human is now not looking too great, but is not wounded. All right, that is all of the bad guys' turns, I believe. It is now Dupel. No, sorry, it's now Gary, and then Dupel.
Oh, gosh, these are some tough customers. Dupel, you're big and strong. Now you gotta become speed. I'm gonna cast haste. And as I say, I'm gonna hold up a pair of wheelie sneakers to Dupel as I cast haste mechanically.
You get given some Heelys if you wish to take them.
He's so excited. He's just like, finally, my true dream. My parents would never let me have them. They said they would cause concussions, but no! Who is laughing?
It'll cause concussions for them.
Yeah, for
the lore I'm coming up with now is that haste actually is a spell used to be called swiftness. But then, in honor of the fallen hero from the second campaign here, who was named Haste, it was renamed in his honor. So you cast Haste in honor of the fallen Haste, and Duples, you're so much faster.
Oh, yeah.
Bonus action movement from you, Gary?
I don't think I'm gonna just walk back. I'm gonna just keep
disappearing back down the hill that you were cresting over.
Good luck. Give him what for?
All right, Duple, you're up, and you have an extra action as well.
Yeah. So haste essentially means that I get to, like, I could double attack technically.
So you can take the attack action as your regular attack. Then you've got a hasted action as well, which you can again use for an attack.
Then that means he would have up to like 4 attacks, because he has...
in the rules as written, the haste only gives you 1 extra attack. I've always thought that's a bit bullshit. So I just if you take the attack action with it, you just get all of the attacks that you would.
Just a whole bunch. Okay. Yeah.
Beating the shit out of them with a dead leg.
Yeah. Well, he has a whole body with him. He just like fucking takes the legs and just goes whoop bam, whoop bam, whoop bam. So he's gonna try doing that. So
the tiefling is heavily wounded. The hobbit's pretty wounded. The dwarf has taken damage, and so is the human. The Goliath and elf are currently not wounded.
Well, now I have a vendetta with the Goliath. We know each other.
Yeah.
Run!
Been too long, Bobo. You were coward in our last fight. You ran.
Okay, so the first hit is math 21.
Hits.
Okay.
Oh, and it's a melee attack, and he still had his booming blade thing up, so I need you to make a dex save from that.
Sure. Dex save is 17.
17 is enough, so you'll take half damage, which is only 4 points of thunder. As you pop the bubble around him, the thunder explodes out from him.
Sweet. Okay, so 1 hits. We're going for the second attack, which does 19 hit.
19 hits.
Okay. Then I go for my second action.
And then you hasted it.
I haste again, and I hit with a dirty 20.
Nice.
And then
that
one.
Wait, the 19 was the total, right? Because you're a fighter. I was just thinking. Yeah, for the previous attack, because I was remembering you're a champion, and I was like, 19's a crit, but it's the total, not the...
Yeah, it's got to be like the roll. So, and the other one is 18. So I think they all hit.
All hit? Yeah, all hit. Roll for lots of damage.
That's a lot of damage.
With a corpse.
Okay, let me just... Okay, give me a second. I'm going to do some math.
I had a friend growing up... whose parents would shout at us if we ever started fighting or whatever, making too much noise, and her go-to threat was, "Cut it out, or I'll rip your arm off and beat you with the wet end."
So he's the living embodiment of that.
You are that.
I am that. Okay,
I love that.
Let's see what I got.
I also love Fellowship at the Table's comment. I like to think Duples didn't actually have time to put the skates on, just picked them up and started beating the other guy around the head with them.
Okay. So with that, I get 5, 4. I'm just doing math in my head. That's 33 points of damage to
Nice.
Shit.
in one set. All right.
In one sit, yeah.
You tell me how does it finish him off? What happens?
I like to think that like he has this body that he just like wham bam 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 like over and over again, just like into the ground until like the body I'm using to beat him with just like
It's
like
just
done. It's used up. It's over,
But
and then I'm
thankfully,
just
you've
like
just got yourself a new weapon.
exactly. You know, he's just like no rise, rise, and he just picks him up.
You've now got a Goliath. I don't know what you were using for damage on a body, by the way, but you can up whatever dice it was one iteration because you're using a Goliath now.
Okay, cool. I was just using the stats of a battle axe. So
Nice. Okay, well you can go up one. You can go up to whatever. Battle axe is a D10, I think, so you can go up to a D12.
it's a D8. It's a
A
D8.
D8 if you're using it one-handed, right? And 2 if it's a
True.
stealth thing, I think. So yeah, it's now a D10. It's now a versatile weapon that is a Goliath. A D10 if we're one-handed. D12 for 2. All right. That is your whole turn, I believe.
Yeah.
No bonus action from you. All
He's
right.
accomplished.
Top of the round, Scrim. You've tucked and rolled out of the way of some danger. What do you want to do?
I'll use half my movement to stand up since I was prone. And then I'll kind of be smoldering a little bit, and there'll be the smell of burnt goblin hair in the air. And
Nice.
I'll shout as I look at the 2 enemies in front of me. I'll say, "Oh, God, this day sucks. Being a hero sucks." And then I'm going to run in and attempt to stab one of them. And I'll use advantage again to trigger my sneak attack.
Okay.
That's going to be a natural 20.
Hell yeah! I love sneak attack
Hey!
mid-20s!
I'd give it up.
All right. Yeah, so you max out all the damage you could have rolled, including the sneak attack, and then you roll all of it again on top of that. And which one were you going for?
That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 d6s is 30 points of damage. And then I'll just
30 points
re-roll.
plus your modifier, and then another 5d6 on top.
Yeah, so it would be 34, and then for the
Which
actual
is enough to
roll,
outright one-shot any one of them, by the way.
that would be 10, 16, another 20. So total of 54 points of damage to whichever poor soul I had targeted.
I'm going to say you went for the elf because that takes him from completely up to completely down. You describe how does he's the only one who hadn't taken any damage, so you just one-shot him. What does it look like? Like right in the spine? Is it in the head? What?
Being incredibly frustrated. No one explained to me that being a hero would be involved with getting lit on fire and electrocuted. I just rushed at this poor elf, and I run my blade right through his neck.
He just goes down dead, and
Stab
Duple, you're
her up
like,
his body?
I'll get to that one later.
Yes, yeah, I just climb
Yeah,
right,
you scamper.
so I climb right up his body, and I just
Get him off me! He goes down unconscious. All right, the elf is no more. The Goliath is no more. The tiefling is on death's door. The hobbit is looking wounded, and the human and dwarf are losing morale quickly. All right, Mackinac.
How
Michael.
injured is Scrim at this point in time?
You can see that he looks a little rough, but certainly not bad by any stretch of the imagination. He's hanging in there. He looks okay.
Okay.
He's taking
Okay.
some scratches.
He's taken some scratches. Okay, I think that Myconol will move just unexpectedly quick towards Scrim and just again pop up seemingly out of nowhere and just move the limp hand onto your body to cast Cure Wounds.
Blessed be the Trinity. I don't feel anything. So I'm hoping the magic goes through, even though the arm's not working.
It will, yes, it will. I won't nerf you that way because you could always cast it from the other side. It was just
Yeah, I'm just gonna do it. Just gonna do
flavor.
a little
I'll fuck with you for flavour.
second level Cure Wounds. So that's
All right,
2d8
2d8
plus
plus your modifier. And because you were worshipping the gods that actually still exist, it is full. If you were trying to cast curing spells or anything from gods that were disconnected, there would be difficulties.
Yes, no, it's definitely from the Holy Trinity. The Cure Wounds coming from the goddess of loyalty, since this is one of my party members. So that is 11 points of healing into your body
Nice.
from my numb, limp arm.
Thank you.
All right then.
You are
Very
welcome.
good. And as you are touching them with healing magic, we are going to the baddies. If that's everything you've got.
All
right, so you
just
rush
gonna
over
hide
to
behind.
Yeah, just tucked down behind.
Well, not
Bunny
behind the
is
goblin.
sticking. Yeah, I was gonna say Bunny is sticking way above the goblin, trying to hide down. They see that you're. They go, "Holy shit! She's a fucking healer!" They are going to change tactic now. It's their turn. The ones that remain are going to try and capture you alive because you're going to be really useful to their operation.
Oh boy.
They are going to let's see who's the strongest of them. The dwarf's the strongest one physically, so he is going to come over and try and grapple you. So I need an athletics check or acrobatics, your choice. If you want to dodge out of the way.
Let me see what I'm better at. Acrobatics. Let's try this. Okay, that is a 23.
23. Okay,
Yes.
that is better than what he rolled. So you managed to get out of the way. You managed to duck down deep as he tried to grab the bunny ears, and you tucked them out. Fucking nimble! The human says, Simon, I give him a name. He says, she won't be nimble when she's unconscious. Pulls out a weapon, spins it around in his hand to bludgeon you with the off end, so you go for a non-lethal damage attack. What's your? Oh god, doesn't even matter. He's not gonna hit you with a
You
two.
have 2 advantages as the DM, not to get myself
I do.
injured, but
I'm gonna use one of them. He's gonna hit you with it. That's gonna hit probably. What's your armor class?
my armor class is 16.
Yeah, 18. Boom. So he hits you.
I allowed
He's
to
gonna
use my
crush you with the other
clockwork
end.
soul feature to get rid of your advantage.
Oh, okay. Very clever. All right, so I use my other advantage to get. No, you.
Uno reverse.
He flings his
Oh,
sword
yeah.
out. He's gonna go for it. He gives himself the advantage because of the luck of the area. Wild magic kind of just kind of pushes you into the area that he's going to hit. How does your clockwork soul feature look? How does it resemble? How does it manifest?
I will actually. I'll just stick out my palm, and from a little slot, a card, an Uno reverse card of some kind, and just it's my magical power.
like Gambit,
Oh,
like Gambit throwing cards, but a lot less cool. Uno reverse card hits him in the throat. Hits him in the throat, just gives him a little paper cut, not enough to do damage, but enough to throw him off his attack.
It's the worst.
Oh, fuck! What the fuck? Fucking! And I love that the camera sees you kind of like back down over the hill, and then you just pop back up over the hill to cast Uno reverse.
I got you. Don't worry.
Has anyone ever
Love
seen the Harry Potter puppet show?
It's a pipe bomb.
skit. Yeah, I just imagine that every time you pop up from behind the cliff, it's just one of those kind of puppets just going like
Basically, that's
this.
basically it.
Uno reverse.
All right, that is the human's turn to attack you. Dwarf turn to try and grab you. We've got Tiefling and Hobbit left. They've just seen the Goliath fucking wail on the other Goliath and take him out, and then pick up his body as if it weighed nothing. They're staying away from you. They're going to hit you from a distance, they think. And because you've got metal on, it's going to help. So they are going to back up. The Tiefling is highly wounded. Actually, the Tiefling is almost dead, so he's just going to run for his life. He's not going to stick around for this. So he's going to disengage and just take off. So he sets off running. You can still hit him with ranged attacks if you want to finish him off. Otherwise, he's gone into the wilderness. The Hobbit, he's also pretty wounded. He's going to run as well, but as his action, instead of dashing, he's going to turn around. Throw from you, please. Actually, no, it's an attack roll on his part, and he has advantage because you're in because it's not the actual spell Thunderbolt. It's the weaker version. Armor class was 19, right? Which is just enough to hit with a 19 exactly. So that is, and then another 16 total points of lightning damage that hits you.
Oh my goodness.
Hits you with that, and then the Hobbit's just taking off.
Wait for me, you bastard!
The Tiefling's
So
like, fuck off, every man for himself!
Do we get an
Shouts back to the
opportunity
dwarf.
to fuck with them?
Good luck. If you get the healer, let us know. Do you get an opportunity to fuck with them? So was anybody in contact with the tiefling or hobbit? No, I don't believe so, because you stood up and ran over to stab the elf, and nobody else was. The hobbit was next
What
to you.
about range stuff?
You can definitely still hit them with ranged on your turns. They're still within range.
Okay, cool.
It's just you don't get attacks of opportunity on them. Is what I was saying. Scrim, Mike, and all baddies. That's all of them. Gary, you're up.
Do I feel like I'm in range of the people trying to run away?
Depending on what range things you have, yeah, they're within 60 feet.
I am trying to use 120 feet.
Oh yeah, they're both in range.
Okay, I'm gonna. No survivors, no witnesses. The rivals can't know that we're on this secret quest. I'm gonna cast magic missile, and I will stick in my hand and highly advanced heat-seeking missiles. That'll be like in the Mandalorian, those little needles that fly around and they'll just fly after them, automatically hitting. Do they both look equally rough? I'll just send 2 into each one.
You need. I will tell you, the tiefling looks like one will hit, one will kill him. The hobbit will probably need all 3 or more.
Okay, I am gonna roll for the hobbit then. So that is 5 plus 5, 10 points of damage for into the hobbit.
All right.
And then 2 points into the other.
2 points what he had left. So that is enough to kill both of them. What does it look like when they hit? Highly advanced heating. It's like something out of fucking Michael Bay's Transformer. Fucking laser point mode.
Missile, and as they're running, it'll just pierce into their back, and then in a very controlled explosion, just in a very gruesome way. Like horrors.
You see their entire upper torso just double in size for a second. And then just smoke starts to come out of their mouth from the lungs that have been They both go down. At this point, the dwarf and the let's cross them out. Dwarf and the human that are left, trying to grab the cleric alive, just immediately just drop everything, just hands up, like, all right. They've got some sort of sun tech. That is your action. You got movement and bonus if you want it, Gary.
I think that's it. Yeah, I'm just
all right. Duple, you're up.
Steve, we're doing great. No survivors, no witnesses.
I will say, however, Gary, behind the scenes, as it were, I've been rolling the wild surge check as if you were a wild magic sorcerer as well. If you are cool with it, because it's your character, I don't want to enforce things on you without your consent. I did just roll the trigger of the wild surge, so roll me a percentile, please.
Gosh, I gotta find my there it is. Hold on. I got a 13, lucky number 13.
Lucky number 13. Okay. What is the highest spell slot you have?
Oh no, that'll be 4th level.
Okay. You cast Confusion centered on yourself. No one else, thankfully, was within range of you, but you are now under the effects of Confusion. Then it is Duple's turn.
You sound like an old man, just like with
super high tech, like heat-seeking missiles. As they fire out from you, you're just like, were they? But they were. There's just a moment of hesitation of like, were they bad guys? And then something's just like, you know, like when you get deja vu or when you get jamais vu, when you like don't recognize something, you know you should recognize. The brain just does like a little bit of a little hiccup. It's like that, but it just kind of keeps going.
Like
short circuits for you, yeah.
My head and my neck, yeah. That was experimental tech, probably a problem. Oh yeah.
Senior moment. Okay. Well,
we've got a dwarf and a human. Both have taken damage, but they're not wounded, and they both kind of just like holding their hands up, being like, "Oh fuck!" They realize they're bitten off more than they can chew. What do you want to do?
Okay, I'm gonna walk up to them and lean down. Yeah. He's quite tall for them. Yeah, he leans down and he goes, "How did you make the lightning?"
We discovered it. We discovered it was powers. There's one in the city in the ruins of the Seven Bridges city. There's a guy who teaches people. It's like it's inherent within all of us, but like you just got to unlock it.
Oh, that's very
like-
neat.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it takes time to learn.
Ah,
But
okay.
like, if you're willing to put the time in, it can be useful. Are you gonna kill us?
I don't know. He kind of like turns around.
Yes.
The other two.
Not sure. Not sure.
It says, "Are we killing them?" Because he has the big Goliath with him. Yeah, you want? Okay.
Try and give a thumbs up.
Okay.
Yeah, Gary said something
yeah.
about taking no prisoners, right, Gary?
Huh? Well, actually, now I think we should let him live.
What are you doing,
He told
Dupel?
us what
What's
we
you?
needed to know. I've had
Okay.
a change.
Yeah, change of heart. Okay. Well, we got right now 2 against 1. I'm kind of middle. I turn to Pooples, and I go, "What should I do?"
But he's all of the danger and the damage and stuff. He's just like hidden himself in his shell, and he just pokes his little head out.
I see. And he takes the Goliath body and just bang, bang, bang.
Against the nail, like a hammer to a nail. Both of them. It hits the human for more damage because he's taller. So it hits him, nails him down with the first attack down to the level of the dwarf, and then you lay the Goliath lengthways and just nail them both into the ground. Just roll me a couple of attack rolls, and then we'll just kind of hand wave the damage because of brevity.
Dirty 20.
Oh fuck yeah.
That one's 15.
Yeah, that'll be enough. So with those 2 attacks, bam, bam, you just sort of like the first one, the human goes from this to this as you just sort of impact his vertebra, and then the second one just drives him into the ground, and then they just kind of both flop backwards as if they've been at the beach, buried up to their waist.
We've all done that.
Yeah. The family members in the middle of the whole thing, just like the man's got his short sword out, and his wife has got her short sword out, and the teenage kid has just like got like a hand crossbow, and the whole time they just haven't fought anything because they just didn't know what to do. They'll just look to you like, we don't want any trouble. We were just moving from. We were just trying to migrate.
Don't worry. We are heroes. As he's covered in blood, and he just murdered
murdered a guy, picked up his body, and murdered his friends with his body.
Yeah,
and they're like,
we are heroes. I am also a necromancer, but it's because recycling.
Right. We can give you whatever you want.
Worn off, right? It's only 1 minute.
Your confusion. Let's see what happens during the confusion time, because I think there's some things that can make you like run in a random direction or attack your friends.
Yeah.
So,
I'm like a muppet.
So we'll just roll me a couple of d10s just to see what happens before it wears off.
On, I got a 5, a 4, a 9, 5.
All right, let's have a look. That'll be enough. 5, 4, 9, 5, 4, something, blah blah blah. We'll see what happens before it wears off. Because some of those will just be you get through it normal. There is the 5 doesn't move to take action. So for the first few seconds, you just kind of just depowered a little bit. And then the 9 was you can act and move normally, so you kind of power back up again. And then that was followed by a 5, which was creature doesn't move or take action. So you're like, oh, that was weird. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened, guys. I was just just immediately back into it again, couple of times back and forth, and then one of them was you can use an action to make a melee attack against a randomly determined creature within reach. So you just, oh, I'm sorry, I think I'm back to normal, and then you just kind of spin wildly just at nobody because nobody's within range. You just
my hand turns into a buzzsaw. I'm gonna cutter. I mean, my neck cutter.
But after a minute, it wears off, and you're like, "Oh, I think I'm better. I think I turned it off and on again." All right. You have the 3 that you have saved as heroes. They have stuff in a cart if you want to bargain for any sort of reward for them. They are kind of semi-willing to give you. It seems they're like, we can give you whatever. Thank you for that. But we do need a lot of this for our own we're migrating from the city of Seven Bridges, and we're heading to the safer keeps. We're hoping that the land to the south will be safer for us.
Oh.
Is it dangerous in the Seven Bridges place?
Yeah. I mean, it's dangerous everywhere, but there's people like them that make it dangerous, and then there's some monsters too.
City with 7 bridges is too many bridges, I think it is.
Yeah, well,
Bad
it
choice.
hasn't been renamed yet, but it is technically a city of no bridges now since the.
Oh.
Just take a few, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It just
yeah.
need one. Like,
Yeah, honestly.
Made it go.
Why-
There's a lot of traffic. When they made the first one, there was a lot of foot traffic over it, and too much. And then it was like, in the wind, it started going. Whoa, it was not properly designed, so they made another one that was more like a viaduct that had the supports underneath it. And then,
they
they
kept
made another one that
messing
was a
it
rope
up
bridge.
and kept
Yeah,
doing
they tried a
it,
rope
yeah,
bridge.
they-
They tried a suspension bridge. They just eventually,
fired
I
their
think they were just.
engineer.
I think they were just collecting at this point. They were like, "What other bridges are there?" And they were just doing it for show. There was like one that was just ceremonial. Just didn't. I don't think I ever saw anybody crossing it. It was just like
Your tax
one of them was
dollars.
one of them was a draw. One of them was a fucking. One of them was a drawbridge that went up and down, and we're like a mile over the thing beneath it. So there's nothing need. It doesn't need to get out of the way of anything. It was stupid anyway. It's too many bridges.
Their main export is bridges.
I'm definitely really hungry. Yes. Do you have anything?
We've got some foods, yeah, and it uncovers the back, and it's a lot of vegetables and some dried meats and things in there. You'll see that as he flicks off the tap of his thing, one of the heads of lettuce gets caught in it and kind of like flings off and rolls onto the ground. At this, Pooples sees it and drops down from your shoulder and just starts to like crawl after this thing as you're on a slight decline, and the head of lettuce just slowly is rolling, kind of like wobble rolling down this hill, and then Pooples is just chasing after it, and then we see the camera from Pooples' perspective, it's like anime lines past his head as he's in like a proper chasing after this head of lettuce. Can I go into chase rules now with Pooples, please? Can you roll me for Pooples an athletics or acrobatics check to see how he's catching up to this?
Dooples
head of
is
lettuce.
just like, let him have this. He hasn't had a lot of action today. Okay, well, on my d20, I just rolled a 5, so.
Okay, so I think he'd have a negative acrobatics as well. So he tries to like bring up speed by tucking his legs in and going into like the camera shows it from Poople's perspective. He goes into like an anime like magical schoolgirl transformation, and he goes, "Now try it." And we hear Poople's voice that like his own internal monologue, and he's like, "Going into spin wheel attack." And he goes in. He tucks all of his legs in. And he goes into a spinning wheel, and then we see all of the anime kind of disappear. And he just tucks his legs in and just falls to the ground, and then lets the lettuce just kind of roll a little bit further away. He's not doing such a great job.
Dooples is just gonna like push his foot up against him and just kind of like just like he's doing it, but he's not seeing that he's going for it.
Just push him along a bit, yeah.
Just a little push.
you give him the. I love that you don't just grab the lettuce for him. You're like, no, encourage him to go to himself. Yeah,
He needs
love
to
it.
have the action. He needs to have the excitement in the day. So.
All right. Is there anything you need from these guys? Any more information on the City of Seven Bridges or anything?
Where
there
is
like a
it?
crater or something where maybe life magic was grown out of? Perhaps some sort of tropical jungle randomly
Oh, that's a great question.
on one of the bridges?
How did you know that?
Well, shucks.
Have you been there?
I looked through a giant telescope.
Oh, all right.
He has
Yeah, there's-
astronomy. He does astronomy or whatever.
Astronomy. Also, I'm a
astrology.
Gemini.
Right. I
He
don't know
got
what that
this
means.
stuff.
What? Yeah. There's out of one of the old mine shafts. There's the new grove they're calling it.
The new
It's,
grove?
Yeah, New Grove. Last few years, it's been growing out of this old mine shaft.
What
you
happened
draw
to
some
Old
map?
Grove?
There was no old grove. It's just like it's a grove and it's new because it's.
They just call it the Grove.
What'd you say, Mechanical Man?
Oh, well, shucks. I was just saying, can you draw some map?
Yeah, that sounds like a
Oh.
lead. We gotta know where to go.
All right. He gets a piece of parchment. He goes, "I'm not that good at drawing, but He draws something. Let me roll see. That's 30. That's a 2. This is barely better than drawing a spaghetti on a page. He goes, and then he just starts. He does that thing. I don't know if you've checked into a lot of motels, but they're like, right. So right here is where we are, and then there's like a room over here, and they've given you the map of the area, and then they draw lines all over it, and you're like, this is making it less clear for me. So if you want to go down here, and that's your room right here, but there's a rec room here, and there's a laundry room. It's one of those situations where he's like, he's dotting the paper and telling you about it. It's just making it way more convoluted. But you eventually like, yeah, I think we can use that. He hands over a piece of parchment. Right.
We're gonna go there. Is there any danger that we should be aware of while we have you?
There is a guardian of the city. A sort of a quest giver of sorts. He likes to give riddles. He might not see you, but if he does see you, you'll be given a riddle. I would recommend getting the riddle right, or he will kill you.
Oh.
Oh, what geniuses?
Oh, good. You should be all right then. All right, then, let's go. And he gives the little the donkey a pat on the butt, and the donkey and starts to move forwards, trundling along. All right, thank you very much for your help. They set off.
Goodbye. You're welcome.
All right, so they leave you with a very shitty map of the city of Seven Bridges, improperly named, and the warning that there is a guardian of the city that will give you a riddle, and if you get the riddle wrong, you're in danger. What do you want to do?
My arm is numb. And I've never
Your arm
murdered
is numb.
anyone before.
Is that gonna just like wear off, or do you like know a spell
I
that you
don't
can heal
know.
your own arm?
I tried that.
Do you want another arm? We could just take off this one, put on one of these guys' arms. I
got
have
10
great
spares.
necromancy. Well, I'm still working on my magic, but still, maybe if I
Maybe
hit it enough, it will connect, and then you will arm again.
Thank you, but no. I think maybe, hey, how about we take an arm just in case, and if this doesn't wear off, then I will let you hit my arm with the dead person's arm, yes.
You get to choose. He kind of like gestures to the rest of the group.
Like it's a smorgasbord.
Yeah, the right for picking. Or we just
Whole
pick
variety.
up on the way, whichever one you want. You know,
I
pick
think
up
I'll
and go.
choose the Hobbit, since it's probably going to be the same size as
Yeah.
as my Harangon body, rather than like an abnormally large replacement arm. But yeah, we'll see.
Gives you a Goliath arm, dragging on the ground like some sort of gorilla. So Duples heads over to the Hobbit and just fish bones him. Fix the arms. So you have a Hobbit arm for if and when this doesn't wear off. And then
Like,
are you
he
taking
picks the wrong one? It's like the left
It's your
one.
left.
It's like
It's amazing. I turn to Scrim.
So, you're the, like, sneaky type, right? How do we get into the city without confronting this guardian? Because I'm not very good at riddles. I don't know about you guys, but, sometimes I confuse which shoe goes on which foot, and I feel like anything further than that might just be a bit, disastrous.
Well, I still stand by the fact that I think that we're geniuses, and I'm sure that we can handle anything that's thrown at us. I mean, we graduated from the school. They sent us out here. They wouldn't have done that unless we were qualified. But I guess we should take a look at the map that Gary has and kind of see where we can go from there. And if we can find a good vantage point or maybe an alternate route into the city or what is left of it, then, you know, I'm happy to kind of scout ahead and see if we can, you know, keep a low profile and maybe sneak past this thing.
You
Or
have a
we
look
just
at the
talk
map.
to him.
I'll have an intelligence check from anybody looking at this map to see if you can ascertain what the hell it is.
Such a 2.
We
I
got
got a
two over there.
17, but he has
17?
he has a -1 to his intelligence, so that's like
That's
like his
incredible. Yeah. It makes a lot of sense to you. It makes perfect sense.
I have a +0 to my modifier for intelligence. The genius thing was very much tongue in cheek. I don't think that I would try to roll for this. I don't think I would wait for intelligent party members to do something about it.
How about Gary? Is he looking at this map?
Huh? Oh yeah, I'll take a look. Oh, baby. Okay, you drew a nice map. Oh, we get also there's continental breakfast. It's at 10 though. That's a little early, don't you think? Oh, natural one. So that'll be a 0. That'll be a hot.
You've also got a -1. Oh, I'm so glad I put riddles against you guys. This team of 0 and -1s. What's your intelligence mod, AJ?
-1.
You got 3 now, 3 -1s and a 0. So the goblin is the smart one of the party.
Technically, we have advantages to use, but I find this far too funny.
This is far too funny.
Yeah,
it is. So I rolled a nat 2 on his ability to draw this map, and you guys all rolled 0s and 3s and things on your abilities to understand it. But then you're kind of just putting it away when Duple's like, I got this. you pull it out, and for some reason it makes perfect sense to you. You're like, this is the south of the map, which for some reason was given to you with it kind of facing a corner. He didn't even put it oriented with the north and south of the map. He just kind of put it. You're like, yeah, we'd be coming in here. There's the New Grove is the bit that he circled 4 times in the middle here, and it's kind of the middle of the city. And like this line that runs all the way down, it kind of looks like his pen just kind of was nudged. Is actually what was once a crevice, what was once a crevasse, and has now been slammed together in these 2 different levels of this city. So you can say, oh, this is the lower portion of the city, this is the upper portion of the city. And then what's making it confusing, you realize with your 17, is that he's tried to draw multiple levels of the city on the same map for you. So there is an undercity as well that is like under the ground, that is in the remnants of what was once the mine shafts and things. And it's where a lot of the shitty people live. It's where the bandit captain from before lives. He lives in the undercity, and he's tried to draw that on the same 2-dimensional map for you, and then in certain areas he's put like circles that were once floating cities, floating islands. When things kind of erupted and gravity went haywire, there was these like floating rocks above this city of 7 bridges as well, and he's drawn those on the map too. So it's a very confusing map, and for some reason Duples understands all of it.
Duples gets it. He's like, oh yeah, just like my mother drawing. Yes, I understand. Yeah.
All right, way to go, Duples. So what do we think? Is there an alternate entrance, or we gotta do this riddle thing with our combined intelligence of -3?
I think we could pull it off. But there are underground city. We are like cave system, so we could go through there if we somehow get like crevice, go down crevice, and then maybe in hole. Since Grove is in hole, so that is best thought. I don't know. What about you, Pooples? That's Pooples.
Just chewing on a head of lettuce now.
Yeah. Well, we
You're
don't
doing
know if there will be survivors. We're not entirely sure. Yeah, but okay.
Yeah. I think we take like the riverways or sewer systems or whatever they were building the bridges over. They'll expect that the least.
I think that's a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
Are you guys setting off like right now? Element of surprise, get in there as soon as you can, or is it like a taking a short rest, long rest situation?
I'm still good to go. I can do this all day.
Yeah, I feel real good.
I probably need a bit of a health boost, but
I could do that. Yeah. You want some?
They gave us all their food.
I can bless you with the gods of the Trinity. You know, you want some magic healing? I got magic fingers.
She says with one of her fingers going like this.
Yeah, one of her fingers. Yeah.
Holding up the other one and just doing this with it.
Though I may be against that stuff. Alright, I will take it. I will take one.
Okay.
One dose.
I'll just give you a very
one heal,
a
please.
light little back massage of healing. Cure wounds. Why not?
It's a bit of a back massage.
how much do you need? Do you reckon I can cast a second or third level, or?
Well, he's down.
I will recommend saving on to your big level spells if you can.
Okay.
Yeah, I would
Yes.
do just do the one. Just do
Oh.
the level 1.
Okay. I will do that. I'ma touch ya.
For so sorry.
Weird that you said it that way.
For 7 points of healing.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay.
All right. So with a little bit of extra pep up, you start to set off towards the north again. It's not long before you find yourselves at the actual outskirts of the city of Seven. You notice that there is like a hastily constructed kind of barricade, pointy sticks facing outwards, that sort of thing, with some skulls placed on it. It's been turned into sort of like a bandit campy kind of an area, a place that's not very nice for people to grow up in. There is no one on guard. There is a gate that you can just straight up walk through. You realize the walls and the spiky woods is mainly as an intimidation tactic to keep people out of the area rather than an actual guard on duty. So you start to enter the city looking for anywhere to get underground, any sewers and things. I'll have a stealth check from each of you to see if you get noticed by the Guardian before you find a place underground.
Right, that's why I'm a Viking.
Oh man, I'm pretty good at that actually.
17. I rolled a 7.
Nice.
I'm gonna use an advantage.
Nice, good idea.
Oh yeah, I guess I should do that too.
You've got them, burn them. You've got a lot of them.
Yep.
If you guys want to give us all advantages, disadvantages, if you want to give me the advantage, if you want to give us a wild surge, yeah, you can do so with all of the donations, which I think are below me. So check them out and consider donating. It helps out the Winter's Tales channel.
I got a 21.
Nice.
Ooh, nice. So 17, 21. What'd you get, AJ?
22.
22,
Nice.
21, 17, and
14.
14. All right, all pretty solid. So you are wandering through the broken ruins of houses. Scrim, are you looking for loot while you go, or are you going to wait for a later time to do so? Because there are ruins around now. There are the remnants of civilization.
I'm super tempted, but I'm not. I'm keeping focused for now. I'm worried about this creature and the riddle, and I'm not as focused on loot as I might normally be.
All right. So in that case, it will take you. Actually, let's get investigation checks from each of you just to see how long it takes collectively to find a way into the the mine.
I'm gonna use one of my advantages.
No.
Nice, do it.
Another advantage gone.
I'm
I got
trusting
a
you guys to keep a track of how many you've got left because I ain't got enough to do. You got a 2 on the investigation. It's okay. It's a group thing to see.
You also have
long it takes.
you have 4 more advantages, Scrim, if you want.
Oh, I have written down 3.
You have 4,
I
unless you've
I
used
think
one.
it's funnier. I think it's funnier if I miss this
Yeah.
investigation.
I like that.
14.
So we got a 14. We got a 2. Dingo, what'd you get? You got a 10.
I
And
also
AJ
got a
investigation?
14.
Ooh, a couple of
Okay.
14s. All right. So not the best, but not the worst. The 2 definitely brings it down. Scrim is definitely adamant that it's over this direction, and you're like, no, it doesn't make sense that it would be over that direction. From my knowledge, probably Gary's like, from my knowledge of the mining. I read a book about mining once. There's no reason the mine entrance would be over there. So you're gonna.
I was really into the gold rush era for a while. And then I got over it. That's how they would do they never drop a shaft here. Scrim, you idiot.
I'm distracted. I'm thinking about other things.
Gosh.
You notice as you go
gold,
through the broken up city that there's a couple of denizens, I guess, of the city that aren't human by the looks of it, more elemental in type. It seems like the magic, the nature magic of the area going a little bit errant, a little bit wild, has granted some semblance of sentience, or at least ambulance to the non-sentient creatures of the area and things. And so there are rock men, sort of what are they called? Not Duergar, Galabdur, sort of creatures, these like stumbling rock boulder type folk that are wandering around. Not a lot of them, just like every so often seem to be shambling without purpose. There's also a couple of times that, like, as you pass, some vines will kind of grow out in your direction, exciting Gary for a moment until you realize there's no berries on these vines. And then there's just interesting kind of nature in the area. That is my way of foreshadowing to you that if you use magic here, especially nature magic or nature-bound magics, there's a much greater chance that it goes awry. Eventually, however, though, with the investigation, you do manage to find, before getting accosted by the Guardian, whatever the Guardian even is or looks like, you manage to find a mine shaft. The mine shaft starts to lead down. It seems like it has been boarded up, and there is a sign on it that says in an old language, sort of a dialect of Cerulean. I always forget what the name of this goddamn city is. Ceridian. It's an old dialect of Ceridian, but you are familiar enough with it. It basically says looted, nothing of worth down here, and it's just boarded up. Like it's still an entrance to the mines, but it seems like the dodgy folk that live here have already taken anything of value that also they think.
Do we trust that?
That's what that's what they would say. But obviously there is stuff in there. That's the whole point.
Well, you two might be able to read this, but unfortunately for them, I can't read, so this sign won't stop me at all.
That's good thinking. If you just lead the way and then we just follow you, we're not at fault.
That's right.
They can't keep it.
Yeah, sign can't tell me what to do.
It's straight up the King of the Hill meme of like, these kids would be very upset if they could read.
Yeah.
Do I
we had
know what a gay peg is?
We had a donation from Alexandra. Thank you very much for the advantage to whoever that was for.
Mikey.
And one for Bunny from Bunny as well. Thank you, Bunny.
Gary's back up to 5 advantages.
Oh my God.
In the final encounter, whatever that happens to be, Gary's just gonna be like, no, advantage.
And Duple, you have 2, because Bunny says necromancy recycling is cool.
Yay, thank you. Believe in recycling.
Right. Duples, grab like a femur or something and see if you can wedge this thing out of here. Let's pry these boards away.
Absolutely.
Easily enough done.
Yeah.
You managed to, with your strength and your equipment, you can easily smash that board off. And as you guys descend down into a mine shaft, it's musty, it's definitely dusty, it's definitely stale air. It has been left for a while, it seems. The more observant among you can notice it probably hasn't been used by the dodgy guys of this particular city for a while. And as you get down to a point where the stairs sort of level out, and you find shafts and other tunnels kind of going off in a bit of a maze, a bit of a cobweb, it's going to be up to you guys to how to navigate this without getting entirely and utterly lost. And that is where we'll pick up right after the break. We are going to go to a bio break, everybody. We're going to take, let's say, 10 minutes. Come back 10 minutes from whatever time it is right now for you, and we'll see you then. Stretch your legs, get some drinks, and we'll see you in a bit.
Hydrate and recycle.
Welcome back to Winter's Tales, the 48-hour extravaganza marathon to celebrate the 2 years of being here on Twitch, 2nd anniversary of streaming. So thankful for everybody to be donating and giving to the 48-hour marathon. If you want to influence the game, don't forget you've got the advantages and disadvantages and things beneath me as well. Speaking of which, I realized I have a chaotic event, whatever that means. So I'm going to use that against. I mean, for the betterment of the story, not using it against you. What kind of what a slip of the tongue there.
Suspicious.
We're going to jump straight back into it after a very brief recap for anyone who's just joining us or tuning in. We are now in a land that is in the middle of a post-apocalyptic calamity. Essentially, the world was somewhat destroyed by huge worms coming through portals and eating 5 of the 7 moons. before they were destroyed or defeated or sent back from whence they came. In the 10 years since then, the world has just been kind of in an upheaval. The heroes that managed to banish these beings to another plane set up schools to teach others how to use the fighting abilities to their benefit in case these worms ever come back. And this in particular party that we have here is from one of those schools, sent out on a mission to obtain the core of one of the destroyed moons that crashed down into the world. The moon that was dedicated to the god of growth. The Evergrowth is his name. The god of plants and plant life and fungus and all that sort of good stuff. So they have just arrived at the destroyed city where the moon crashed down, and they are going to be looking for loot while they're here, but also looking for the quest object of the core of the moon. They don't exactly know what the core of the moon looks like, but they'll figure they'll know when they find it. Is that a good summary? Did I miss anything important?
No,
All
you
right.
nailed it.
They've arrived in the city. They have gone down into an abandoned mine shaft under the city to try and get around, to try and get to the center of this city where they've been told plant life and growth has been emerging over the last few years. So they figure that's probably the heart of this old god. So you've found yourselves in this maze of tunnels and caves and mines and things. How are you going to navigate this? Have you got anything at your disposal, or are you just going to blindly wander and hope for the best path?
Can we search for any like growing things, like a flower or?
Absolutely. Make a nature check. See if you can see any evidence of anything growing.
Nature.
I think Myconol is panicking.
Why?
I think the moment we got into the tunnels, Myconol was like,
Oh, I didn't realize it was so dark and
Disconnected from
yeah,
the god, the Trinity.
I don't feel my god's touch here. I just want to be touched and I don't feel it.
Just put a hand on your shoulder. There.
Oh, thank you, thank the Trinity.
It's okay. We're gonna be fine. As long as we just keep touching each other, we're gonna be swell.
I
This is gonna turn
agree.
into the Stephen King version of It.
Yeah.
No.
I got an 11.
What did you get? An 11.
Yeah.
You can see with an 11, it's very dark down here, but you can kind of make out that there's no growth that you can see where you are now. There is like a not quite the smell of cut grass, but something not florally. What's the word I'm looking for? Something organic, like decaying organic matter is coming from
Like
one of
moss
the tunnels. Yeah,
kind of
mossy kind of a
smells.
smell is
Yeah.
coming from one of them. Not that you can see it, but you
Musky.
could kind of get the idea that following that one might be your best bet. So
Wow.
you all
that's
set off
delightful.
following Duples? Is that right?
Duple knows the way.
Oh yeah, I absolutely. I trust Duples. I can smell the fresh cut grass. Oh,
Duples, you always were our navigator.
Duple's nose.
As you are wandering down this long corridor, this stone mine shaft, essentially this long. Do they call the shaft? The shafts are just the ones that go down. Is there mine shafts the ones that also are the?
I have
horizontal
always
ones?
said so. I could be wrong.
Mine tunnel?
Mine tunnels.
Tunnel
You're going down
shaft.
one of these mined out tunnels. A horizontal shaft. and then something chaotic happens. Just apropos of nothing, because of the crazy nature of how magic works here, gravity suddenly reverses, slamming you up into the ceiling. And each of you is going to take, unless you succeed on a dexterity saving throw DC 15, you're going to take
Okay.
some bludgeoning damage.
I'm gonna use one of my advantages.
I am as well too.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Oh, crushed it. I got a 22.
22 succeeds. And because it's a
19.
dex save and your evasion makes
Yeah,
sense. here?
it
Yeah, you
should.
land nimbly on your feet and
Like a
evade
cat.
any damage.
Goblin
You got a 4 with
cat.
advantage there, Gary.
19.
Okay, 19.
Always with style.
Dingo, what'd you get?
19 as well.
19. And AJ?
17.
All right, so you all succeed, and I'm glad you used those advantages now, because instead of taking 2 points of bludgeoning damage, you take 1 point of bludgeoning damage. Well done. Yeah.
Oh boy.
I was like, what a time to use it. So you slam up into the ceiling, and some of you starting to right yourselves, but you notice that the sudden reversal of gravity is not the extent of this chaotic event, because the sudden weight shift of all of the mechanics, the physical mechanics of this tunnel and the weight that it's holding up, all of the wooden beams are holding the ceiling up, but they're not holding the floor down. And so the floor starts to crumble and start to come towards you as well. And from the path you came into, it starts to get blocked off, and you guys are going to need to run. This is going to go into what I call what I like to use as a skill challenge, meaning you are going to need 3 successes before you get 2 failures, or you get crushed by rocks. So you guys can choose what to do. You can choose how to narratively get away and get through this crunching reversed gravity rock fly. Otherwise, rocks fall and everyone dies. So look at your sheet. Tell me something that you would use. I'm afraid it's going to be a real hard sell to use persuasion here, but you can certainly try if you can think of a way.
I'm just gonna throw out acrobatics again. I obviously running along the ceiling now, which is not gonna be as what the floor was.
Yeah, it's not as smooth, and there's the
goblin feature to jump around and move and dart around the ceiling.
Absolutely, and it's basically doing hurdles for you, because the ground is all undulating, so difficult terrain, and then the pillars that are holding up the ceiling are now acting as hurdles. So give me an acrobatics check.
Scrim has been donated a disadvantage.
How did you do this to me?
So I'm going to impose that when I choose to. I'm not going to put it down.
Fair enough.
All right, then I'll tell you I got an 18 plus 7, which is
25. That is 1 success to the skill check. You are nimbly diving over things. You're also telling people the directions to go, like, follow me. So that's helping. What are the rest of you doing to help?
Hello.
Oh.
I'm gonna do an athletics.
Okay, so you're just like maybe picking up the others and running with them, something like that?
Yeah, and also just like using the force in my legs to really just like propel me forward. So
just really going into a sprint with your big Goliath muscular legs. All right, roll me an athletics check.
Okay. Oh, I'm gonna roll with my advantage. I know.
You can use an advantage. Okay.
Oh, okay. That is 21.
21 is a success. So you are running, you're following Scrim's lead, and he's telling you the way. You're leaping over these hurdles, no problem. You're picking up those who are weaker and kind of throwing them ahead of yourself as well, helping them out. Down to Mike and Gary, what are you offering?
I'm gonna basically tap myself, and I'm gonna cast protection from evil and good for elementals.
Okay.
I don't know if that matters, but the elemental biz here. And a little speaker box will say, "Elementals, stay away. Elementals, stay away. Dirt, stay away. Ground, stay away."
Okay,
I'm doing.
I'm going to set the DC for this one, and this is going to be... I think you've managed it. I think this is a persuasion check. You managed to convince me to... You're trying to persuade the ground. You fucking bastard. You bastard. I was like, there's no way he can possibly persuade this thing. But it's not. He's got a fucking speaker box persuading the ground to stay away.
That's a 22, folks. 22.
22 is good, because I set the DC at 21. I genuinely was like, this is going to be very difficult to fucking try and persuade ground to stay away from you. But for some reason, you managed. I think just from sheer dumb luck, you just sort of turn around and you're like saying things to the ground. Hey, you stay up there. I'm protected from evil and good. And then at that point, like Duple just grabs you and just kind of throws you ahead of themselves. And, all right.
I probably grabbed them.
Yeah,
I'm used to grabbing bodies. So I just.
Okay, that is 3 successes. Just for completeness, we have already succeeded the skill check, but AJ, what would Meek and I be doing?
So I would like to take out a little jar of a bubble mixture and I would like to cast Create and Destroy Water to
okay.
make 10 gallons of water and make a slip and slide.
Nice. You remember how I just described the floor of this mine ceiling, right?
Yeah.
As undulating terrain broken by wooden beams that
But
are acting
we're
as
on the
hurdles.
roof. So
Yeah, that is the roof.
I don't know.
That is the roof.
We'll
Because the
get
wooden
a-
beams are holding up the roof. Yeah, you're just gonna be slip and slide out. You'll slip and slide feet first into the first one, which will flip you over head first into the second one. All right, so this is gonna be a difficult one. Okay, roll me a check. It's gonna be a spellcasting or acrobatics.
Acrobatics. Why not? That's in that one. I'm going to use my last advantage. Oh, not much better. Okay. I rolled a 9.
A 9 total. That is one failure,
Yeah.
but thankfully that brings us to a total of 3 successes and 1 failure, which is enough to succeed. Out of the 4 of you, you just needed to not get 2 failures. So you slip and slide. The clouds, because of the nature of the magic, it appears at the ceiling to rain downwards. So you're covered in a fog essentially. You've also cast fog cloud on each of you, and then it rains, but the rain immediately just like falls back upwards down to your feet and wets the ceiling of this tunnel. You slip and slide out into an area of the mine that was a much larger cavern, and then the rocks finally close behind you. And as you exit out as you literally come shooting out the edge of this mine shaft with the athletics and acrobatics and slip and sliding, you exit the area of reverse gravity and fall back to the ground again. For sake of brevity, you don't take any more bludgeoning damage, but you land, you tumble, and as you get to your feet and look around, you see that there is unnaturally smooth walls of this particular cavern that you're in. It seems like it's almost featureless, like everything has been meticulously worn away at, like sanded meticulously by like dwarven culture, almost like dwarven precision. I mean, where you're in sort of a cylindrical room that is kind of a uniform grey to it. There's a couple of other shafts that lead into this room. It seems like it might be like a bit of a hub to the rest of the mine. And with the noise that you were making with the clambering of rocks and stuff behind you, it seems to have drawn some attention from something. There is this. Actually, everybody roll a perception check. See if you can tell what it would be, what it sounds like before it arrives.
Oh, nope. Scrim got a 6. He's got no idea. I've never heard anything like that before in my life.
Another one of my advantages.
It's really burning through these advantages.
Yeah, I got a 3. So
I rolled
got
a
a 10.
Yeah. You know what? I'm also going to use one of my new advantages. I ran out and then got donated two of them.
I think I've only got one left.
The fact you've got one left, and you also have a disadvantage to gift to Scrim and an item, apparently.
An item as well. Ooh,
I've sent
interesting.
it to you in Zoom chat. And then, I'm going to use the advantage for Myconol because one of us needs to get over a 10. Okay.
Okay. The item you've mentioned is a particular item?
Mm-hmm.
That particular item that you sent me, he's been gifted?
That's what the chat person has said, yes.
Okay. A magical thing of that? Or just that?
It's just an item. I'm
Okay,
unsure.
sure.
You do with it what you will.
Okay, I can make something out of that.
It might be
Okay.
canon in the Legends of Adventurous world. I'm unsure.
Maybe. Okay.
We'll
We'll work.
sword. Thank you so much.
It's a wish blade. We'll see.
What
Okay.
were we rolling? Investigation?
Perception.
Oh, perception. Okay. Then in that case, I rolled a 14.
So we got a 3, a 6, 14, and what was Gary's?
10.
A 10. All right. So with the 14, none of you that, given its nature, none of you are that sure what it is. But with the 14, you are slightly more sure than the others that it sounds a little bit like something padded, softly walking along the stone of one of these caverns, one of these tunnels. You're unsure which one it is, until it starts to emerge. You see two of the tunnels. From two of the tunnels emerges this large. I was going to say quadrupedal. I can't think of what the word would be for a six-legged one. A sextupedal? A six-legged... it sounds... Maybe not that word.
Sextupedal.
It's a six-legged panther-like creature. Only the upper half of it seems to blend almost seamlessly into a beautiful woman with this human face. And her hair, like in pigtails almost, is braided down her back, and then the hair grows out into almost prehensile tentacle-like things. It looks very much like a displacer beast from the waist down, as it were, but the upper body and face of a human woman. This, although you've never seen one before, is a displacer sphinx. And as they walk forwards into the thing, you hear them say in unison,
We thought someone was down here. How intriguing that you would have sneaked into our town without being heard. Very interesting. You managed to avoid our detection, which is unlikely. You must have skills. Let's see those skills in action.
They look at each other. There's a pause. They look back at one another. They look back at you. And then they say in unison,
Salt of strays, eaten by worms. Viaducts no more. Ear to the Trinity. Numbers have power.
And then they just go quiet. You realize from context, these must be guardians of the city, and that must be a riddle. And if you get it wrong, they attack. And if you get it right, they may help you. Salt of strays, eaten by worms, viaducts no more, ear to the Trinity, numbers have power.
Viaducts?
Viaducts. As in bridges. Viaducts.
All right. Nobody shout anything out too quickly. And I know before we left on this adventure, we said we'd leave no man or person behind, but I'm willing to take one for the team if it comes to it. Just leave me here. It's fine. I'm sure I'll be okay. And then you all can just escape.
I slap you in the face.
Stop that. You're the genius, remember?
Oh, that's right. Because I don't have a negative modifier.
You're the brains of the operation, Scrim.
We can do this. We just have to work together as a team.
Can we have a moment?
They look at each other.
Take all the time you need. Just don't give us a wrong answer.
Group huddle, group huddle.
Oh yeah.
Did anyone hear what the fuck they said?
I'll remember it. A little speaker will play out, and as my memory will play a recorder.
That's cool.
It says, salt of strays, eaten by worms, viaducts no more, ear to the Trinity, numbers have power.
Ear to the Trinity?
Ear to the E-R-E, as in before. I've put it in the Twitch chat as well.
Oh, yeah. I'll refer to it.
Well, we know that the moons were eaten by worms. We know that much.
Yes,
There's gotta be something there.
There was 5 of them. 5 of them were eaten.
5 of the 6 before there was a 7th.
I will tell you as well, just because this is information that you would have as characters that you don't have as players. One of the nations before the Calamity, one of the human countries, was called Salt of Strays. It is a water, a marine sort of country, kind of like Atlantis. It is made up of 7 islands, and many people live under the water there as well, like mermaid type folk. So the Salt of Strays refers to a country made up of 7 islands.
Oh.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Gary?
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
I was thinking the shy hood.
Is that your answer?
They're eavesdropping on your conversation.
No, wait.
Hold on. Is that what you were thinking of?
No.
Big
They're
old
both-
scary items in the
They both
Muad'Dib
started sort of pace.
Sculpture bar.
There's something here with the numbers. It's some sort of maybe from 7 all the way down to 1. Or something like that, where there was the 7 of the cities, the 7 islands, and then the 5 moons, and there's some other numbers in between. But I'm not entirely sure. What do you think?
Well, the Salt of the Strays, there was 7 islands, and
Right.
there were 5 moons eaten by worms.
Right?
The viaducts no more. Well, there was 7 bridges that got destroyed, and the Trinity. So before the Trinity, there were. Oh well, this is a little bit of a history, but there were 6 gods, and then
That's
a
right.
7th one rocked up. So I would say. Before the Trinity, there was 6.
Wait.
So
If
This
the numbers have power, what if it's just the number 7?
Oh,
But that doesn't explain the number of moons eaten by worms.
well, maybe
There was 7 moons. There were 7 moons before 5 were eaten by worms.
maybe it's more abstract. As in what was eaten by worms, the moon. How many moons were there? 7. Shucks.
It has
What
to
if
be.
you add them all up?
Oh.
Come up to 42 or something.
We're gonna be defeated by basic math.
You can, if you wish, roll intelligence checks, and I will give you in real life hints.
We all
Oh,
might as well take a
gosh.
shot. I'm gonna use advantage on it. 'Cause I got a +0. I got a 10 as my high number with advantage.
+0, 10. Excellent.
15.
I will tell you that you are pretty confident in your assumption that Salt of Strays refers to the number 7. You are also confident that Eaten by Worms refers to the moons. Viaducts No More refers to the 7 bridges that were destroyed. Ear to the Trinity, you know, is referring to the number of gods that there were before the Trinity erupted.
Good.
And the last line, numbers have power, is seemingly just an indication of the fact that you're looking for a number as your answer.
Well,
Wow.
that would add up to 25.
Anybody else roll intelligence and get anything higher than a 10?
Oh, I guess I can roll.
I got a 15.
Oh,
Okay.
yes!
Duple again,
Yes!
saving the party. 'cause
Yeah,
it's
just-
one straight.
Wow.
Oh, brilliant Goliath, yes!
Duples.
Yeah.
Gee,
Duple, you know that before the Trinity emerged, there were 6 gods that were known about, but the god that emerged, the god of gravity and consequence, was always there. He was just hidden. People didn't know about him. People had forgotten about him because of things that had happened in the past. So before the Trinity arrived, there were 7 gods. So you know that there are 7 islands, 7 bridges, 7 gods, and yes, 5 moons were eaten. But if the clue is just pertaining to moons, as Gary said, then there were 7 moons.
Blah. That's what he says. He's like, meh.
Each
well,
of them pertains to the number 7.
Did
That's not
7.
it.
Is it that simple, or is it also adding them together? Because I don't do math well.
I don't
Did I
think
get
any
it?
of
Did
us
I
do
get
math
an
very
intelligence
well.
check from Gary or Macnell?
it's not good. I think
It's not.
Duples, I trust you. I trust you.
I think
What is-
7. What
I
about you,
think
Pooples? Do you agree? Pooples?
Duples.
Well, we can't. Well, if we win, we won't kill them, but I can still maybe get their
Yeah.
arms later. But that is later. I know. We'll talk about it later. Okay, I say 7. 7 is
I
what
also
we
Is
do.
that your answer?
Ah!
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
7.
that's
Look at each
right.
other. They look at each other.
Hey,
There's this
hey.
almost disappointment comes over their face, and then both of them whoosh, merge into one as the displacer illusion fades, and it's just the single Sphinx. And she goes, "Very well. On to round 2 then." 7 was
Wow.
indeed the answer, and if you look at it like an acronym as well, S from Salt of Strays, E from Eaten by Worms, V from Viaducts No More, E from Ear to the Trinity, and N from Numbers Have Power.
Bravo.
Oh, wow.
Thank
Clever.
you. I came up with that in a matter of minutes as I was like, oh, I should throw a Sphinx at them. And then I was like, oh, fuck, I'm going to have to come up with a riddle if I throw a Sphinx at them. And then I came up with this. Round 2, however, as she says this, she extends this illusionary magic from herself to the walls that you're in, this chamber, and you realize why it is featureless. It acts like a green screen almost, or like the holodeck from Star Trek. She can change the illusion to look like anything she wants, and suddenly you find yourself in a well-stocked kitchen. Looking around the kitchen, she says to you, with the last riddle, "The worms from afar had celestial palates, but some foods were not to their taste. Make me something to revolt the Star Eaters, worthy of heroes, with haste." And she seems to want you to make her something, some sort of food that would be worthy of heroes, with haste. They had celestial palates, but some foods were not to their taste. Around you see ingredients and equipment starting to emerge from on top of cupboards and in pantries and things around the place. You see the following: baking trays, muffin tins, a saucepan, a frying pan, measuring spoons, a whisk, a bag of flour, a bag of corn flour, a cocoa bean, a bunch of grapes, a bag of raisins, a bottle of wine, a bottle of sherry, a bottle of cognac, a bottle of gin, rashers of bacon, an egg, potatoes, tomatoes, a head of lettuce,
Oh my god.
salt, pepper, and a statuette of a dragon. And I will put that in the Twitch chat.
I know.
Oh,
Andy
I
knows
know.
this one. Andy figured this one out, but Scrim's too stupid.
What is
Wait,
it?
Muffins.
Heroes.
Muffins.
yes.
Yeah, let's make some muffins. I'm feeling a muffin, folks.
Because
You gonna make some muffins?
The one muffin person. Because he's actually like a fan of the muffin.
Yeah,
Mm.
because Muffin
Hero.
was a Minotaur barbarian, so yeah, absolutely, you'd remember
Yeah.
Muffin. Muffin was
You're
one of
talking
the
about
quote-unquote capitalist saviors.
No.
The heroes that stopped the worms. There was one of the heroes was named Muffin.
And one
That's
of them,
really-
one
People
of them
just
was-
done it again.
one of them was called Haste as well, and that was in the riddle.
What were the other ones called?
Oh, there was. Wait.
I
Oh,
mentioned them right at the
cocoa.
very start of the stream.
Cognac.
We need the cocoa bean and the cognac. Maybe we can take the
Oh.
wine else while we cook. But
Oh
you
my
know,
god, you have no idea how good it feels to have people who take notes. I've been playing D&D for so long with the people in Dirt League guys,
Hey,
and the number of times I have to hit them over the head with shit. And you guys, I mentioned some off-the-wall names at the very beginning of the stream once, and you were like, yeah, I'll take note. That might be important later. I'm going to give you all inspiration.
Yay!
The heroes, the capital S saviors, the heroes, were named Haste, Coco, Muffin, Cognac, and Renee. I will have each of you make an intelligence check, please, or a history check, your choice.
Oh,
Oh, 18 on the dice.
Oh, nice.
they're the same for me. Come on. 12 total.
Nice. 3. Dubbles has had his moment. Dubbles is like, I'll give this one to somebody else.
I
Minus
did, yeah.
one.
We got a 10, we got a 3. What did you get? An 18 total? Oh, 17 would it be, Michael?
Yeah, was it history or religion?
History check, yeah.
Is that what you said?
History or religion is actually would work as well for good reason.
What was the other one?
Religion, history, or intelligence? Just straight intelligence.
Oh, the same for me. So 18 and no, minus 1, 17.
17. With a 17, you learn something that Robert learned about a couple of hours ago. The name Renee means born again. It means reborn. It's to do with birth, and it's particularly got religious significance.
Were there eggs on the list?
There was an egg. There was an egg in the
Yes.
list. Yes. So, grabbing the cocoa bean, the egg, and the cognac, and the muffin tin, you guys start to whisk together with haste some hastily made muffins, and as you present them to the displacer sphinx, she looks at them, smiles, and says, "Maybe you have what it takes after all. I shall
Right.
permit you entry to the new grove."
Oh, shucks.
Always
Sorry
wanted to be
for not
top
very
shelf.
good. You only had one egg for a whole thing of muffins.
Yeah, it's not going to be the greatest. It's mostly cognac that's going to save this thing. Let's be honest. It's mainly the cognac. It's going to be raw cocoa powder and a single egg. And it's not. And you made a whole tray of muffins. It's not going to be the best. But hey, I'm sure they'll still taste. I'm sure they'll still taste delicious. Now eat up.
You also said one cocoa bean.
One cocoa bean and a single egg.
A single
and a bunch of muffins. Look, I couldn't say cocos or something. It wouldn't have made sense for the. You've got it. Fucking start. Just eat up.
This is the real torture. It's eating this.
It's like, can we not just fight you instead?
We really rushed it too. They're undercooked. I'm sorry.
Doubles would appreciate a fight while we're eating these.
There's just a moment, like we went through like a montage of you whipping them up and like putting them in the oven and like excited, and then we cut to like the real time of it, and you guys are just standing around waiting for them to cook in the oven, and the Sphinx is like, "So what do you like to do for a hobby?" Just small talk. What about that crazy weather, eh?
Do we get a short rest?
Yeah, absolutely, sure. You get a short rest while you cook the muffins. You can roll a hit dice if you want to roll hit dice.
I feel like it's an easy bake oven situation as well. It's like it's one of those ones that just kind of like moves across a tray. Yeah.
I mean, that's all they've got because the god of fire was one of the ones to be disconnected. So they ain't got much in the way of heat these days.
Can I take one muffin with me?
You can indeed, yes. Is anybody eating one of these muffins?
I'm just gonna keep it with me. I got a bottle of cherry and I got a muffin. I'm writing it down.
Put it in your inventory. Sure, they'll come in useful. Anybody else eating a muffin? I'll take him one with.
I'll give it to Pooples.
I'll take one.
Give it to Pooples?
We might get hungry on the road.
Can I do an Arcana check on the muffins?
Sure, make an Arcana check.
I want to see if this benefits us in any way. Nat 20!
Whoa.
You can tell that the magic of the heroes after which these ingredients were named is resounding in this feast.
Ooh.
Oh, snap.
Oh, snap.
I think we should all take a muffin or more of them, and we should eat them if we ever get into trouble, because I think they're going to bless us with the power of the heroes under the name of the Trinity. It's just a theory.
Oh, that sounds badass.
Very good theory. There's enough muffins for one for each of you and one for Pooples.
Yay!
Pooples eats his, and you see that he suddenly gets a lot faster. After the namesake haste, he has now cast haste on himself.
Oh, yes.
Ooh,
All right.
That's one fast turtle.
You take. He's just a regular speed for the rest of you now. You can put him down, and he would keep up with you. Now give him the head of lettuce. See who's boss then. You set off down the corridor that the displacer Sphinx indicates with her hair tentacle, and she gives you directions to find the grove. And she says, at the heart of the new grove, you will find the heart of the old grove, the Evergrowth. I wish you luck in its capture. And then with that ominous use of verbiage, she just sort of backs away, looking you in the eyes, Gary, and just ignoring your request entirely as she slinks into the shadows.
What could it mean? Good luck. What kind of riddle is that?
Just spent 20 minutes thinking of the riddle.
Irish.
So look, if you look well, then you're looking good. Good looking. Somebody's good looking.
Well, shucks. Anyway, now we know where to go. We've got muffins with us.
There's nothing to it but to do it.
Okay.
All right. So
Claim the moon.
setting off down the corridor without fighting the Sphinx. By the way, if you'd have failed either one of those riddles, you still move on to the next stage, but then the illusion of the two Sphinxes became 4 Sphinxes. And then if you'd have failed the second one, it would have become 8 Sphinxes, and then the attack. And you've got a 1 in 8 chance of knowing which one is the real one. And every single one that you attack is like a D8 chance of actually hitting the right one. And you'd have been fighting you'd have been fighting 1 displacer Sphinx and 7 illusions. but you managed to succeed on both of the riddles.
So we got to bake.
And you got to bake, and you got some
I just love
muffins that are going to be pretty awesome.
the baking montage in the middle of the apocalypse is just
Yeah.
absolutely freaking incredible.
It's not long walking down this particular mine shaft until you get to the edge of what is a huge vertical mine shaft, and you can see that it's like it's probably about 40 feet diameter across it, and the walls of it are entirely overgrown in vines. There is all sorts of foliage growing up from the depths below, and you were told in your directions from the Sphinx, if you get to this and climb on down, you'll get to the heart of the new grove. And basically what happened was the core of the moon smashed down into the city, smashed through the ground into an old mine shaft, and then tumbled down to the bottom of this mine shaft. So you are at the edge of an overgrown mine shaft. There's a lot of handholds for climbing down with vines and stuff. So if you want to make athletics checks to climb down, you can. If you want to get down in other ways, you can. What do you want to do to get down there?
Yeah, I would like to climb. Being a thief, I have a
Hell
feature
yeah.
of second story work. Climbing no longer costs me movement, and when I make a running jump, the distance cover increases by plus 4 feet. But I'm used to climbing, so I would absolutely.
Yeah, you'll be able to climb down this without even making a check. You can just straight up get to the bottom if you want, but for the rest of it, you're probably going to want to stick close. Yeah, stick close.
My friends as well by like showing them where to grab and try to help them.
Tell me in this moment. Let's get like a prequel flashback almost. Like what was the time that you learned to climb so well?
Scrim would have learned to climb very early on in his life. I would say that it was very much out of a habit for fun. Well before the calamity happened, when there was still lots of foliage and trees and great things, he would spend his time just exploring the woods and climbing trees and getting away from his siblings and parents by hiding up in trees and living a wonderfully whimsical childhood.
Aww.
Nice, very good. We see some of this moment playing out in his head as you put your hands on the vines and start to like immerse yourself in them, and suddenly we flash through your eyes. You see this sort of almost tearing up as you're like realizing, oh god, there were better times. There were such good times when you were just climbing trees and running around in nature. And then whoosh, we go back to today, and you realize what stakes there are, and if you can succeed here, if you can succeed in returning the Evergrowth to the world, perhaps once again there'll be more nature for you to climb. How are the rest of you getting down?
Well, seeing this, I'm going to try and do exactly the same thing, even though I have no skill whatsoever in climbing and am a rabbit humanoid with one numb arm, because I think it's still in the 4-hour mark.
I think it will have worn off by now.
Okay, good.
You've had a short rest. You baked some muffins. You got into a city. You fought some bad guys. Whatever. I'll allow it.
Mike, would you rather just fly?
Yes.
Well, with the power of magic, I'll cast fly on both of us. And I'm gonna hand you a jetpack.
A jetpack? I love that. I love the idea. I imagined the scene from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory of us like holding hands and descending down the thing, and now there's jetpacks. I love it.
It's that scene again, but then
It's really
like
loud.
magic.
say
And
computer.
twin spells. And then from my head, a helicopter propeller will emerge. As I take it. So we both have fly for 10 minutes.
I love it. Okay, and then Dooples.
I mean, it's just vines going down in a hole.
It'll just be
right?
it'll just be an athletics check.
Yeah. All right. You can definitely do
Just
an
gonna-
athletics check. I do think Dooples also like asked the group the Sphinx lady, like, she cool with us just taking it, right? Like I just wondering, like, she has this thing in their city that is like part of a god, I guess, and it make all this fancy stuff, and we're just going to take it. I don't know. I'm just wondering. I don't know. She had too many arms, and it bothered me. So.
Well, you know what? We answered a riddle, so I guess we could take the priceless artifact that's also the core of a god and also the moon. That's good, Barry. Finally.
Yeah, just another day that ends in Y.
You know what? That makes sense. Okay. 19. for athletics.
19 is enough. So you start to clamber down next to Scrim, who's also climbing down. The other two just slowly coming down. It's trying to stay away from the wall so you don't catch it alight with your jetpack. It's not much time at all before the four of you land at the base of this mine shaft. It has broken through the ceiling of the floor below it, which again is one of those large chambers. It's a relatively small ceiling, probably only about 8 feet high, and it's a very disused mine shaft even before the days where when the calamity happened. They'd already cut off this mine shaft, it seems, this particular level anyway. As you touch down though, Scrim, you land on something and you look down and see that you've got a little daisy on the ground, just a beautiful little daisy that's just completely out of place. That's on the ground by your feet.
I think I would be so stunned to see this flower after not seeing any kind of growth like this for so long that I would pick the daisy and I would want to smell it.
All right. Well, this is the item that was gifted to you by the gifter person an item, which is why I was confused as to whether it was a magic daisy or something. Is it just a daisy, or does it have like in-joke significance to Legends of Adventurous? If not, I have ideas of what it does. All right. If it doesn't immediately strike you as anything,
it's just a daisy, probably.
Just a cool. It's just a daisy. It does nothing. No, it does. As you smell it, it smells fresh. It smells like it's just been plucked, like it hasn't been in a dusty thing for this long. And then you hear a voice in your head go,
Goodness, it's been so long. It's been quite the time. It's me. I mean, you're holding me to your face. Hello. It's been quite the time. Nobody's touched me in such a long time. I'm sorry if I'm a bit out of it. Sorry, my social skills are. I wasn't expecting you. It's great to meet you. What's your name?
Nice too. My name is Scrim. What's your name?
I mean, Daisy. Isn't that obvious?
Oh, I should have known.
Yeah. This daisy, while holding it, allows you to speak with plants.
Oh, this is amazing. I'm gonna tuck you right here in my hat.
There
And
you
we'll
go.
just ride off together into the sunset, and certainly nothing bad will happen to you, Daisy.
That's wonderful. I'm glad to hear it. I need a perception check from everybody, please.
Yeah, I've played enough Undertale to not trust this thing.
Yeah, we just see
I'm gonna use another advantage. I'm using them up, folks.
Get through them. You keep getting gifted them.
12. I got a 12.
All right, wonderful.
Sketchy say. -1. 16, folks.
Nice, that's pretty good.
17 for Mike and all.
Okay.
18.
Oh, 16, 17, 18, and what was yours again, Scrim? 10?
12.
12. All right, not bad across the board. Okay, you see two different things. The people who rolled above a 16 anyway. You see that at the bottom of this shaft, right where you've sort of fallen down around, excuse me, you see a stone. It is a very smooth stone rock. It seems like it's 100% made of earthen material. It is about 6 feet in diameter. That's a bit big. Let's say about 4. It's about 4 feet in diameter. So a big old boulder, going to be pretty hard for anybody to lift, but technically possible with a couple of you together. And it is sort of, it's got this ethereal, almost green aura around it, like a green haze that is constantly around it. It seems like one of those beautiful river stones that's got striations through it, lines and things throughout, and the lines seem to map out almost like a very complicated network almost on the surface of this sphere. It is undoubtedly the heart of the moon that you're looking for, the heart of the Evergrowth. and it is somewhat pulsing. The second thing you notice is that from within this cavern that you've broken into, the denizen that has lived in this cavern for some time, that is now disturbed, has awoken or has noticed your presence. You hear some sort of skittering sort of sound, and then I need you all to roll initiative as a spurt of web spires from the darkness and tries to engulf you.
I rolled a nat 20.
Ooh, nice.
Nice. Congrats. Nice job.
Thank you. It's not really relevant with initiative, but 22. 22.
It can be relevant, which I'll get to in a moment. Okay, so we got a 22 from Mike and Al. Who else? Anybody high numbers? Gary? 17 from Gary, nice. Who reckons they're next? Anybody middle-ish numbers? Low numbers?
I got a 9.
9 and a 4, okay. So we got a 20, 17, 9, 4. We've definitely got the two halves here. Alright, so that is Scrim, that is Duple, and then 17 was Gary. And let's roll for the Spider. Alright. Not great, Mr. Spider, but better than Scrim at least.
Scrim was
modifiers anyway.
Donated another advantage with a note that says, Andy, you keep that daisy alive or so help the Legends of Advantis community's sanity.
Yeah, I realized what they were doing.
What were they doing?
After you gifted me the daisy, I realized what the joke was, and I was slow, so that's my fault. I apologize. I caught up. I'm there. The daisy will hopefully stay alive.
What is the daisy?
Daisy is another character, an NPC from the campaign that Scrim is from. And she's a lovely person, and hopefully she will survive.
Hopefully she does. Yes. All right. So out of the darkness, I've rolled a d4 to see who it was targeting. Mike and Al, it is targeting you. As this web strikes you out to kick off the initiative, I need a. Oh no, it's an attack roll. I thought it was a whatever. Oh, garbage. It's probably going to miss you with a 10.
I mean, you do have an advantage.
I've still got an advantage. Yeah, I've still got an advantage. I'm going to use it now. So that is going to, that's probably going to hit you with a 24.
Yeah, that hits.
23, sorry. It is going to hit you. You are restrained by webbing from the darkness, and you can try and break out of it with your action. I will say, here's where the initiative of Nat 20 comes in. In my games, Nat 20 on initiative means you can actually choose where in the initiative order to go if you want to change it for later, because sometimes it's actually beneficial to go later, especially for clerics and things, when you're like, I'll wait until later to whatever. So you are up first, Mike and Al, but you can choose to go later in the initiative if you want.
You know what?
Once you lock it in on this first round, it's locked in.
Do I take an action to try and get out of the webbing? Is that or is it the end?
It will take your action to get out of the webbing, or you can burn the webbing or whatever.
Okay, I'll go at the top of the round just to try and get out of this thing.
All right, so you're going first then, Mike and Al. What are you doing?
I would like to call on the Trinity. I don't think Fairy Fire actually casts fire, so
it doesn't. It's flittering emotes of light. It's glitter, basically. It's a glitter bomb.
Yeah, it's a glitter bomb. I don't have anything that would take this away from me, I don't think. So instead, I am going to just try and take my action to squirm my way out of this.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna
strength check.
Use a mage hand to help.
Okay, yeah. I'll allow it as part of the same action. You cast your mage hand to try and pull on some of the webbing while you're squirming out. So make a strength check. This is gonna be your action. You've got a bonus in movement after this.
Okay. That is a strength check. That is a 17 on strength.
17 is enough. You managed to get out of the webbing, so you're no longer restrained, which means you've got your movement bonus if you want it.
Yes. Okay. Movement. I'm gonna hide behind the Goliath.
Okay,
go
move behind
run...
the Goliath, away from the others.
Yep.
So then it is Gary. You're up.
So, how tall is the ceiling where we're at?
About 8 feet off the ground.
Oh, so we're like, it's super cramped, and then they're coming all around us?
You've only heard skittering kind of coming off of the walls. You've no idea where they are. You know where at least one of them is because it shot a web at you, but you don't know how many there are or where they're coming from. They could be all around you, yes. But you know the location of one of them in the darkness in the direction the web came from.
I am going to just say, well, I gotta cast Fireball in a random direction. And I am going to just, where it's tight, cramped, and webbing is flammable, I am going to just, wherever I think, I don't know if I can listen, but wherever I think, if Mike and all got like web from a certain direction, wherever I feel
you throw
like
it in that direction,
mass,
absolutely. With the radius of Fireball, you're definitely going to be able to get included in it, whatever was the source of the webbing. So you just love this Molotov in the direction. 3 on the saving throw. I don't have any more advantages, so that's just going to be a dead. It fails, so it's going to take the full damage. Roll me the damage.
I'm just going to roll it on D&D Beyond. Actually, no, it feels good to roll some dice.
Feels good to roll 8d6, doesn't it?
9. Yeah.
And I'm casting it at a 4th level.
4th level, so 9d6.
Oh, shucks. Okay, 12. Okay.
I love trying to get Rob to use all of the advantages that he was gifted, but then knowing that there's a wild magic surge just waiting is terrifying.
Oh, do we have a wild magic surge?
Yeah,
let's go.
I am sending them directly to you on the Zoom chat just so you have them.
36 points of fire damage.
Jesus.
Damn.
36! Oh, above average. All right.
Last year it was 37.
Nice. Sweet ref. All right, so 36 points of fire damage to the speedy spider. And as it explodes outwards, you see this huge spider. Like, I'm talking, well, not capital H huge. It's a category large spider, so about the size of a horse. It's this huge 8-legged creature that has green kind of like when acid etches into metal, like acid burn on metal. It has that kind of pattern all across its carapace and back. The mandible start clacking. It rears back. It didn't like that. It was a different chunk of its hit points. It's not wounded yet, but it definitely came back from it. You see also some of the fire around it. Some of the fire around it starts to illuminate the surroundings, and in this moment you can see the cavern is mostly just webbing. It does, however, illuminate the fact that it is the only one in here that you can see. There may be others hidden, like much further back in the other side of the cavern, but this thing is acting on its own, and the sounds you were hearing was just its own footsteps echoing off the walls. A lot of the webbing around it immediately has burned up, but the rest of the room has a lot of webbing in it that it can move through freely, but would be dangerous or difficult for you to move through. That was your action. You got a movement and bonus?
I'm going to just back up. If it's like it's behind everybody else.
We just reuse the same footage of you backing up before in the fight. It's like the Muppet just backing up.
All right, don't worry, folks.
That is Gary. It is now the spider's turn. Let's see if it gets its webbing back. It does not this turn, so it's going to do all sorts of other shit before. It is going to run up to, let's see.
Oh, can I convert sorcery points as my bonus action?
You can, sure. I'll allow you to do that. Remember, keep a track of what you've got.
What does that look like?
I pull out an oil can. This is some good stuff. Here we go. That's great. Okay, that's all I got.
All right, it's going to run up to the Goliath, the tank of the group, the fighter. It doesn't have its webbing, so it's just going to go for you directly. It's going to rear back and try to bite you with its mandibles. That is going to be only a 13 to hit, which I think will miss your armor class. What's your dexterity modifier?
+2.
+2. So your armor class without armor on, without a shield or armor, would have been a 12. So it rolled a 13, meaning the only reason it misses you is because it hits your armor. rather than you
Mhm.
dodging out of the way of it. And because it hits your armor, you see its other feature called Ruinous Bite. This is a ruin spider that uses acid as its attack. Whenever it hits anything metallic, it starts to corrode it. So it hits your armor, and your armor takes a permanent and cumulative -1 to the AC. So it is going to take your armor class now down to an 18. As it bites you, doesn't cause you any damage, but because it hits your armor, where it hits seems to start to corrode into rust and metal. And then its second attack can't roll well. That's a 14. It's going to again miss you, but then the second attack is again going to drop your armor class down to a 17. So your armor class is currently a 17 because of the acid that's wearing away at the parts that it's biting. It's trying to get through to you like opening a can with a crimper. That is its whole turn. That is all it can do. It did not get its web back. So now we're on to Scrim.
I will have drawn my short sword as I prepare to engage this horrific creature. I look up into my hat to where my new plant friend is, and I say, "All right, you're my new best platonic friend. There's absolutely nothing romantic going on between us, but I promise that I will keep you safe and I'll get you out of here."
Weird that you would specify. It makes me feel like the lady does protest too much. Have you got feelings for me? I'm just a flower.
It's one of my advantages so that I can use them up. I've only got one
All right,
left.
use them up. Give yourself advantage. Try and hit this thing. Do some sneak attack on it.
Oh no. Can I use one more and just this will be the end?
Yeah, man. If you've still got them, use them.
All right, that's an 18 to hit.
18 definitely hits. Roll damage.
All right. That's going to be 1, 7, 9, plus 5 is 14, plus 4 is 18 total points of damage with the sneak attack.
Nice. For the
Damn,
first
that's
time
good.
all games, Scrim has no advantages.
And what did you? Get in those advantages, everybody. I've got none. Scrim's got none. You were fighting. You hit him with a dagger, right?
Just short sword, but yeah.
Short sword. As you strike through with the short sword into its carapace, it screeches out in pain. And as you withdraw the short sword, you see the acid blood has corroded it somewhat. You've got a -1 to your attack rolls and damage rolls with this now corroded short sword.
As a bonus action, I will use my cunning action to disengage, and then just kind of using my nimble footwork, I kind of reposition around this spider as I turn.
Nice, good on you. Okay, so you are now fighting back. The Goliath has basically got you back to the heart that you're here to save, and and you're fighting the spider on the other side of you, and then on the other side of that is your goblin friend. Duple, you're up.
Okay, so this grove thing is like super magical and shit, right?
Yep, super magical and shit.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
It's always good when they clarify that.
Yeah. Just trying to see what it does.
You know one thing it does? Wild Surge is, no matter what you're going to do, I'm going to ask for a Wild Surge at the end because I've got one stored up and I really wanted to use it on you.
Okay. I have like, let's just say I've, throughout my travels, I've gained another leg. Or maybe
of course.
Arm or something
You've
like
definitely
that.
picked
He's
them up.
always got stuff.
You've just got a supply of them. You've always got that. You can just pull them out of
just do.
pockets. If we're allowing Gary to be pulling out jetpacks and shit willy-nilly, you're definitely allowed to pull out some dead bodies.
Corpse stuff. Yeah. What I would like to do is like I'd like if I'm here and then the orb thing or the moon thing is behind me, I'd like to move to the side of it and then pull back, and then I'm gonna smack it with
Smack the orb?
Smack the orb and
Wonderful.
see if it does
I was
anything.
hoping one of you would do something like that. It definitely does do something.
Oh,
In order to do so, you will have to leave the spider's melee range, and it may get an attack opportunity. Are you okay with that? You can just turn around in the spot and take an attack where it is, and it'll be behind you. But you said specifically you wanted to sort of duck around the side.
Yeah,
of it before
I can make 2 attacks. Can I stay where I am and go bop bop? Just
absolutely.
like
Bop
hit
this
once,
thing, bop
hit,
that thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You absolutely can. So you attack with those as you hit the thing. So roll your attack on the spider, because you don't need to actually roll to attack on the thing behind you.
Nat 20.
Nice! All right.
Yay.
Are you hitting it with the Goliath thing as well? Like you've got the extra damage on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I used up his body, so I'll just say it's my normal.
Okay, very good.
But
Fair
it is two-handed, so
two-handed.
Yeah, yeah.
You bring it down.
so
I think to make it even more battle axe, like it's basically just bone at this point, but it's got half of a pelvis on it, so it's got that jagged sort of axe
Hell
shape
yeah.
to it as well. So you bring it around and just whack down into it. And actually, I think. Oh no, it doesn't say metal. I thought the acid corrosion only happens if it's a metal weapon, but no, it just any non-magical weapon that hits the spider will corrode. So this particular bone will corrode away.
Okay, so
Got
you
plenty
do
others.
nat 20s as max damage.
Max out what you could have
Then-
rolled, and then roll again
then
as if
roll
it
it.
was a regular attack.
Okay. Okay, so then I have a 1d10 plus 5, and then
So you're already doing 15, and then roll another d10 on it.
I rolled a 9.
Nice. So 24 damage from one strike onto it takes him to. That's looking wounded. The spider is looking fucked up already from two nat 20s with with a sneak attack and a nat 20 and a fireball. It's looking pretty bad. You smack down this spider. A couple of its 8 eyes that are immediately. It's not looking like it's liking that at all. But then your second one hits the other thing. And
I like
as
to
you
think
hit,
it was a mistake. I like to
As you-
think of being like, whoop-a! Oh!
just rearing back. Poof, poof. Oh yeah. I will have you roll a percentile, please, and we'll
Hell
trigger the wild
yeah.
surge from you hitting this thing.
78.
Ooh.
Okay, cool. 78. 78 on this is.
Oh no.
It's just perfect. You let's see, how does it manifest? Whack. Yeah. What would you say to this? What would you shout to this spider as like like something intimidating or something like, yeah, get it, or in your face or something? Would you say
You have
something
too many
to
legs.
you have
Too many
you go to-
legs.
you smack it and you say you have too many legs, but the rest of you hear "Mm," as you can only speak using animal noises until your next long or short rest.
Yay!
A creature can understand you only if they speak with animals. And I'm going to say that, Poople can understand you.
Yay!
but everybody else in the party, unless you can speak with animals, the Goliath in your party is now just only speaking in animal noises.
I love that
Um,
as a role-playing choice for Dingo.
It's it's like, oh great, with a fucking
Woo! Yeah. It's just like a chicken.
all right. The other thing that happens is, and I've got what have I got left over? I've got a weapon, a magic armor, a weapon, right? Okay.
Yes, you've just been gifted an item to the story, either a magic armor or
Okay.
a weapon.
The benefit is that so there's a drawback and a benefit here from smacking the orb. The benefit is that some of that inherent magic immediately imbues your armor with magic. It not only heals the rust that has happened from the acid corrosion, but it also makes it +1 magical armor. So your armor class actually goes all the way back up to a 20. So your armor class is a 20 from a magic item. Thank you for the $20 donation, whoever that was. But that is to say, that will hopefully offset some of the negative that comes from it, because you activate the last remaining remnants of abjuration magic to protect the heart of the Evergrowth, which is an Evergrowth guardian. The rock starts to break open like an egg from where you cracked it, but the shell doesn't smash and something comes out of it. It's like the rock is a transformer and grows into a size category huge earth elemental mixed in with plant elemental, guardian of itself essentially, and it is going to protect itself to the bitter end. And as you summon this thing, it is basically just going to go into attack mode. I don't know if you've seen the Iron Giant, but he's got the dent in his head, and towards the end of the movie he pops out and suddenly he realizes he's a war machine and he goes into attack mode of everything. What we're dealing with here is an earth/plant elemental that is in attack mode/defense mode to protect himself by defeating anything and everything around it.
We're
He's
in
going to
an
enter
8 foot.
initiative.
He's in an 8 foot tall.
Oh yeah. and he is standing
He's
right beneath,
huge!
and he is standing right beneath the where he came down through the tunnel. So he is currently standing up, and he is up to sort of his midriff kind of range in the cavern beneath you guys. So that's one of the benefits, that he won't have much mobility. However,
He can't really see us.
He can't really see you, but he can certainly feel you. He's the avatar of a god.
He could just kill us.
So he enters the initiative round between Myconal and Gary.
Oh my
So
God.
that is going to be Evergrowth. An avatar of the god himself, the Evergrowth, enters initiative.
My bad, guys. My bad.
I was like, if they could get through the whole spider fight without touching the orb at all, and they won't ever activate it. But then you were like, I'm gonna hit it. I was like, yes, you are. All right. Literally anything to touch the orb was gonna initiate him.
You
All
give
right.
me a magical thing in front of me, I'm gonna
I won't
hit it.
touch
I'm
it.
gonna touch it. I touch it.
All right, let's see what this button does. Okay, so that was Duple's turn, I believe. Bonus action for anything? Second wind or anything?
No, I'm good.
Alrighty. Top of the round, Myconal. You are now in a cavern with an almost dead spider and a gigantic, untouched Evergrowth avatar.
Nah. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I am going to... I think I need to get rid of this spider. So, without even thinking, I am going to look at the spider right in the eyes, and I'm going to call upon the what is known as the what did you call it? The day of...
There was the Day of Destruction and the Day of Salvation.
The Day of Salvation. I will call upon the Day of Salvation, and I will try and replicate banishment of this spider,
Okay.
in the name of the heroes that got rid of
So
the
you're going to cast
worms.
Banishment on him?
I'm going to cast Banishment. It's a Charisma saving
Charisma
throw
saving
of
throw.
12.
That is going to fail, so he's going to use a legendary resistance just to succeed. You can automatically succeed with it. Uses up one of his legendary resistances, though. That's a good start.
Uh-oh.
So the banishment seems to attack him a little bit. Oh, actually, he might. Oh no, because he would have failed on the second one because I rolled twice anyway. He has advantage on the save and then also failed, so I used his legendary resistance.
Okay.
It seems to try it's trying to force him back into the ball shape,
Mhm.
and then he just backs up again. That was your action. You got bonus and movement.
Yeah, bonus action, I panic and I telekinetically shove the spider back.
Okay, great. Does he make a save or anything? or
Yeah,
is it
that's
just you
a
push it back?
strength save of 14.
That is a fail. The spider is skittered back and knocked prone, and its legs all out to the side.
Yes.
All right. One of the things about this surroundings you'll notice is that except for the one patch that has been Molotov cocktailed, there is a lot of webbing. So basically, you are either in range of the guy's feet and arms and stuff from where he is, or you can back up out of his melee range, but then you're into webbing range, where you can find difficult terrain and potentially get stuck to webs and stuff. So
Okay.
there's a difficult choice to be made.
Do I still...
Do you wanna
oh,
stay-
no. I was like, I still
With your
have
movement, do you want to
fly.
stay within his melee range, like he could kick out and hit you, or you do still have fly actually? Yeah, you could
How long
go
does
up
fly
and try and
last?
10 minutes.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
been
gonna
probably 3.
I'm gonna rise myself to the top of the cavern, not where the gap is, but like the roof,
Yep.
and try and
Off to the
stay
side
out
in
of
the roof
range.
and
Yeah,
stay
yeah.
out of the range. All right, wonderful.
Like a scared
That is
rabbit.
Myconal. It is now the Evergrowth's turn. The Evergrowth. Oh, I forgot actually. You were initiative count 20, so perfect. It's actually I didn't have to forget.
Yeah.
Lair action.
Welcome, Dead Aussie Gamer. Thanks for the raid, my friend. So good to see you.
Let's see. Hey, raiding. Thank you very much, Dead Aussie Gamer. Welcome to Winter's Tales. We're in the third of 7 games of making a world, destroying a world, and rebuilding the world over 48 hours to celebrate 2 years of Winter's Tales being a channel. So we are getting towards the end of this one. They have found themselves in a cavern fighting the avatar of a god at level 8.
As you do.
As you do. So, lair action triggers at the start of the round. He is going to pick... Let's see. Does he roll 1d4 and just pick randomly? No, he picks you because you're flying.
Damn
you
it.
need to make a strength saving throw, please. Rabbit folk.
Mikey's
rolling
also flying.
Yeah, but you're trying to hide at the moment.
Strength saving throw?
Yep, you get
I rolled a 13.
a 13. All right. 13, unfortunately, is not enough against an avatar.
I will use one of my advantages.
Okay.
I rolled less, never mind.
So the sticking up to his name, the Evergrowth grows a vine from out of one of his toes, out across the floor, and then bursts out of the ground at a point of his choosing, and at a target it can see within 15 feet. And because the roof's only 8 feet tall, it bursts out of the ground, grabs a hold of you, and pulls you down to the ground. You are considered grappled and on the ground now.
Well, this is inconvenient.
All right, that is his lair action. Now it is his turn. He is going to, let's see, what can he do? He's got a lot of fun things. I think he's going to, let's start out with a bombardment. He's going to use a bombardment, which is a cone of effect. I'm going to say that now that you're grappled, he's going to go for you and Gary. So he goes to one side of him, sort of turns around, and then Gary and you both in this cone, he just lets loose like this, like his shins just kind of splinter outwards, and all of this rock just peppers outwards. You need to make dexterity saving throws, and because you're grappled, I'm going to give you disadvantage on this.
Peppered shins does sound good.
Peppered shins.
I would like to use my clockwork feature to remove the disadvantage on that as my reaction.
Okay. You do not have disadvantage. So you both just roll regular.
Another advantage.
How many you got left now?
One left for Gary.
Nice.
After
One left
using
for
this.
me. Oh shucks.
So you had 2, you've now got 1.
Advantage. I'm gonna use 13.
You got a 13 total?
Yep.
That is not gonna. No, it's not gonna do it. What did you get, Michael?
I got a 3.
That is also not going to do it, surprisingly. You both take 20 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ow!
Oof. Yeah. As this rock bursts out from his shins and peppers the two of you in a cone. Dag just donated $10, which I believe is an advantage for me.
Unfortunately not. It is an advantage to Dingo and Mikey.
Bastard.
Hey!
Bastard, Dag.
Ah,
Bastard.
Thank you.
Let's go. Thank you, Dad.
It was the same price as giving me advantage, but no, it goes for the players. All right. So that is his action. His bonus is to summon a twig blight out of the fungus between his toes. Just a tiny little blight starts to emerge and starts to waddle forwards, joining his initiative. Takes a strike at, let's go with, I think, the goblin. He's going to go at the goblin with an attack from twig blight. That's only going to be a 6 to hit though, so that's going to dodge. You're going to dodge that immediately. After taking an attack, the twig blight just scatters into twigs. It's just a single bonus action thing he can do. All right, that is it. That's all his turn. So Gary, you're up.
I am going to look at my grounded friend after losing Fly, and I'll see the spider being a problem, and I will say, well, there's only one thing to do. Gary Goodberry, maximize! And I'm going to do a Beast Wars Transformers quickened spell of polymorph into a robotic giant ape.
Fuck yeah, you are! All right.
Optimus Primal from Beast Wars, for all those at home that remember that. I don't have the cool flying hoverboard, unfortunately.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I am going to, I'll look down at the spider and go, oh, banana! Just that twice. As I'm going to attempt, I guess I'll be like, I don't know how big a giant ape is, but I imagine.
Definitely needing to be hulking in this 8 foot tall cabin.
And I'm just going to try to beat the shit out of this spider.
We have another $10 donation from Daredazzy Gamer, which I definitely think is an advantage for me.
Nope. That would be an advantage
Bastard.
to Scrim and to Mike and all.
Bastard.
Each of the players have 2 advantages, but Scout made up for it because Scout donated an advantage to the DM just to spite.
You're the best Scout.
Just to spite Dag.
So Giant.
All right,
ape.
so you are a giant metallic ape. Make some attacks.
17 is the lowest.
So that definitely hits. All of them hit.
Okay. I'm going to need.
I say all of them because I've no idea how many attacks you've got. I assume 2.
It's just two. So this is just bludgeoning. I need more defense. Okay. That is 11 plus 14, 19, 26, 26, 32, plus 32, 40, hold on, 32, 48 points of bludgeoning damage.
Goodness.
Oh, my
Okay.
God.
I just do this. Boom.
After the first one strikes down, whoosh, there's just like an array of acidic blood just spurts up over you. Your fists, as a gorilla, now have a -1 cumulative penalty to them because the metallic can start to corrode away. After the second attack.
Monkey.
Oh no!
After the second attack, though, whoosh, describe the kill.
Oh, as I slam down and it's gonna get pushed down in the ground a little bit for you Super Smash Bros. Fans. He'll a little bit in the ground, and then I'm just gonna to wind up, and just whoosh, and just smash it into, knock it off screen or just kill it, smash it.
You start to wind up, and you're like, in your head, it's like, this is gonna be cool. You start to wind up, and it goes bam into the ceiling, and then bam into the ground, and then bam into the ceiling, and you're like, God damn it! And so you get yourself even lower, and you start to like try and find the angle with which you can wind up. You're like, if I go like this, and you're like, okay, I found it. you find the one moment where you can wind up, and then it's not nearly as cool as you're like, damn this ceiling. But you smash that spider with that second attack. You get another -1 from your acidic corrosion of your hands. So you do have a -2 cumulative penalty to your attacks and damage rolls. You knock that spider's corpse though into the webbing and beyond, just like out into the wall. Now it's just the Evergrowth.
That's my turn. Thank you.
That was your bonus to turn into an attack action and movement. Are you going to stay within melee range of this guy, or are you going to go into the webbing area?
I'm going to stay in melee range. I'm ready. I'm a big boy, so I'm ready to
You are a big boy now. You are a tank. All right. It is now. Nope, not Spider's turn. They're dead. Scrim, you're up.
I am looking at my sword, my short sword that has eroded in my hands, and
it is only a
just
-1. It hasn't gone entirely, just to be clear.
-1 to hit and -1 to damage.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Again, I look up to the flower sitting in my hat, and I say, "It was fate that I met you here in this tunnel here today."
I think so.
There's only one thing that we can do, and it's all because of you. Are you with me?
Is it kiss?
Oh, no, we have to get out of here alive. Stay with me here.
Oh, right.
I'm going to attempt to use my bonus action to dash.
Okay.
Assuming I'll have to go through some of the webbing to get closer to this guardian. And I know that he's like half elemental, like earth, but I also, think that he's part plant, and I want to attempt to communicate with him.
Wonderful. I was hoping this would happen.
With plants. I'm going to shout to him and say, "Please, Mr. Guardian thing, item, robot, we're not here to harm you. We're here looking for the gods. They're broken or lost, and we want to return them to this world. We're here to do good, please." And if I am crushed to death or smushed, so be it. But I'm going to make this plea to this.
I will have a persuasion check, please, and I will give you advantage.
Thank you.
I use my reaction.
I mean, you do have.
I'm gonna cash in on one of my advantages.
You can cash in on one of yours as well.
Oh God! My highest was a 7. With my +2 is a 9.
You've still got one more advantage.
Did you roll? Did you roll
One more
3?
minute.
I gotta use it.
You
I
gotta
gotta
use
use
it.
it.
So you rolled with my advantage. You rolled with yours, and you can roll with the last one.
Last one. Here we go.
Oh,
9 is I.
this wasn't meant to be.
Isn't it?
Oh,
Isn't it delightful? Isn't it delightful that you have two people in the party who both have like a +8 persuasion? All right, so with a 9 total,
oh no.
I am Groot. No, I couldn't help myself. I am Evergroot. I need not your protection. I protect me. And then he's going to. It seems like the persuasion has failed. Your bonus action was to dart between all the webbing and stuff, get over to him, put yourself close, and speak with him. You were able to speak with him. Unfortunately, with 4 d20s, you were unable to roll higher than a 7. So the persuasion fell on deaf ears at this point. He is in full attack mode, full defense mode, and it seems like it hasn't worked. You've got the rest of your movement left if you want to move back away from him.
No. I sit there.
All
I
right.
sit there with my arms outstretched in this plea, and I am begging him, and that's the end of my turn.
Okay. Scrim, that was your turn then. Duple, you're up.
Duple can only speak in like animal noises.
In animal noises,
right?
that's right.
Yeah.
Got
Okay.
it.
Can he understand animal noises?
He can.
So can I actually understand Pooples now?
You can.
Okay,
Poople's a
so
voice.
I don't know what your thought of Pooples was, but I always thought he was like an eldritch god, like not actually, like something evil and like just the worst, like
Hell yeah,
so
why
dark
not?
and
Why
awful.
not? I was gonna go that route. I was just gonna give him a sweet voice. Let's think what Purple's voice is gonna be. I think it's like a really high Geordie, a really high Midwest kind of accent, like a Midlands. Like I think he's up here, but he's just like the things he says is just really shitty.
Yeah.
So you turn to Purples then.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I don't. I mean, he'll speak, I guess, in turtle,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
you
like
can-
I
you
don't know,
can-
like
you can-
blah, blah,
you
blah,
can-
blah. I don't know what a turtle sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah, they squeak, right?
Yeah, they're like. He's gonna talk to Pooples and he's gonna ask like what he should do. He needs some guidance here.
You should summon. You should summon the deep internal and use the magic to like really just fuck this guy up like properly. You should send him back from the hellfires of deep below and through to the ever planes from above, and then just like send him through a whole hellscape to make him insane. That's what I would do.
Would that go against what we're supposed to get, or would that just cover our
Maybe,
base?
but like then it'd just be then you'd at least win. This guy has it coming. Do you want me to fuck him up for you?
No, it's like a thought. Like, no, I
He
think
gives
I
it,
got it.
no, and then pause. No, and then quick.
No, I think I got it.
Alright.
So you think I should use the magic of?
Oh, use
what?
the magic, or I could use the like your necromancy.
Oh, yes, that's right. This is perfect moment for
Yeah, so that's good.
necromancy magic. Okay. He's gonna turn to the grove thing, and he's gonna like really think hard.
All right, and this is perfect because we have another wild magic surge waiting. So as you are going to try and tap into the magic of the area, I need another wild surge check from you.
Sure. I like to think if he ever got like actual necromancy powers, it's from Pooples.
Oh yeah,
The Eldritch.
yeah.
God.
Pooples has been trying to give you. He's been trying to imbue you with powers the whole time. If you ever
Yeah.
multi-class into Warlock from Pooples will be your patron.
Exactly. 90.
90. All right. A 90 is you have the unshakable feeling that you're being watched for the next 1d10 hours. So there's just
Probably
eyes on you,
Pooples.
probably Pooples and more. And Pooples in this moment, he goes, use the magic around you, use the necromancy, and you try and tap into that. And then you see just these faint eyes just in the peripheral vision, but they're like the eye wisps in your own eyes. Like every time you look at them, they move, and so you move and they disappear behind you, and they're just always there, and they're not human. They're definitely, you don't know what they are, but they're like squid eyes, or they're like a combination of like cat eyes and goat eyes. There's like slanty ones, and there's like compound eyes, just kind of hundreds of them, just in like this, in a range from you that is far beyond the Euclidean nature of this cavern that you're in. Like it extends beyond the walls, but you can still tell that they're there and they're watching you. If you try for magic again as an action on your turn, you can have some sort of bonuses to the attempt to actually tap into necromancy.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
But for now, that was your attempt to try and use magic, which was just the wild surge. You've got your action. What is your action going to be? Is it going to actually be to try and tap into necromancy?
Yeah, I mean, if he kind of like tries and then he's like, yeah, didn't really work, and then now he's just got an audience. Now he's just like, well, now I have to do it because now they're watching.
Hell yeah, let's give it a go. All right. So you tell me, what is it that you're attempting to do? What is Doople's ideal goal to achieve?
Well, I mean, if he's gonna answer what Pooples was talking about, there must be like, I don't know, breaking up the ground and sucking him to hell. I don't know exactly what. It's kind of like I'm letting Pooples guide him because he's, to be honest, I don't know if he knows a lot.
I've got something that could work. I'm gonna just set a DC at it. I believe this would be.
Like Arcana?
Is charisma or wisdom your higher of the two?
Charisma is higher than my intelligence, and then I have a +1 in my wisdom, which is higher than my charisma.
Okay. We'll make this a wisdom check.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll make this a wisdom check. You're not proficient in Arcana, are you?
No, I am not. I'm gonna use my advantage.
Okay.
Nice.
Come out!
You've got one more.
Oh, okay. I'll do it. This is his dream.
Now's the time.
This is his dream. I don't think it happens.
Oh no.
Because I rolled
what did you get?
3 times in a row. 2.
You rolled a 2 3 times in a row.
You cast a spell.
Wow.
Clearly.
Okay. So you got a that's impressive.
With a +1, so I guess
+1,
3.
so you got a 3 times in a row.
Oh,
Even with the bonus you got from the eyes watching you, it's not going to be enough on this turn. However, you do feel like with the eyes watching that for the first time you do actually tap into magic. There's like a new feel. Obviously, you don't realize it's for the first time because you've been casting necromancy the whole time. But it's the first time. It's the first time casting a different kind of magic. In that the ground beneath your feet, it's like you're tapping into the influence of the gravity god, because you feel like you're getting a lot heavier, and the ground seems to, like you're stepping on wet sand, and it just kind of sinks in, not a lot, but just enough where your feet are. You crack down into the ground, and a very small crack appears from out the toe of your boot. It feels like you could actually tap into something if you tried again on your next turn. That was your action. You've got movement and bonus, I believe.
Unless I do an action surge.
Unless you do an action surge.
You
could definitely try it again.
You also got gifted another advantage from chat, and
Thank you, Alexandra.
Scrim has got 2 as well to replenish the 2 that was previously used.
I'm going hard, man.
Do it.
I might as well action surge on this.
Action surge and try again. You tap into it, tap into it. Roll me another check. Try it again.
Nope, doing the advantage.
Yep.
I rolled a 4,
Okay.
so I'm not gonna do that.
You doubled it.
17 on the die!
Yeah!
So then that's a +1. So 18!
18.
That's good.
So the DC I set, much like with Dispel Magic and what have you, is the level of the spell plus 10 for the DC. And the DC was 18 because this is an 8th level spell that you're about to cast. You hit the DC of 18.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And so you succeeded on the check.
Oh, okay.
With the bonuses from everybody around you as well, which was going to be a D4 added to it like bless. That's an extra 1. So you hit 19 and you cast the earthquake spell. As you tap into the nature of the world around you, the sudden your gravity sinks down into the ground. The crack that emerged from your boot starts to go in, and you're like, no, tap in and do it again, and you push even further, and then whoosh, this fissure underneath your feet just cracks open, extending right out towards this guy's feet. And you can deal damage to structures. This guy being a construct and the size that he is definitely would classify as a structure. So you can either do two different effects with this. You can do a fissure to open a crevice essentially with all sorts of details about how big it can be and stuff, or you can attack a structure for a whole bunch of damage. So you want to make a fissure under this guy, or do you want to attack him for a bunch of damage?
Yeah, that's the question. And the question is like this thing is like a demigod almost.
Oh yeah, he's an avatar of a god, or
Yeah,
a fallen god. He's definitely not the strength of a god. He is defeatable. He has hit points that are tanky, but you could get through them in theory.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna open a fissure.
All right, you open the fissure underneath him. Oh, the fissure's open throughout the spell's area. Start of your turn. Blah blah blah.
Sleep.
A D10 times 10. So roll me a D10, please.
Sure. D10. 6.
60 feet deep fissure emerges beneath this guy, who is huge, size category huge in size, which is usually around the size of like 20 feet tall. So he's about 20 feet tall or so, and he falls 60 feet down into a fissure, and he's going to take 60 feet of falling damage, which I have my own chart for in my games because I'm a physics nerd, and I didn't like the way that the fall damage in D&D doesn't account for terminal velocity and such. So 60 feet falling is an average of about 42 damage from him, unless he can make a DC 26 saving throw, which he could theoretically do.
DC 26, Jesus.
DC 26 save as a reaction to land. Nope, he fails that, so he's going to take the whole thing, which is 21 D3 damage, which is usually an average of about 42, but I'm just going to roll it on my my app here.
Oh my god.
21 D3. 40. So just below average. He takes 40 points of bludgeoning damage. Non-magical, however, so it is halved because of his nature, obviously, as a beast, as a magical thing. He falls down. This crevasse opens from you right across the other end of this cavern, just into the darkness. He falls down, boom, hits the ground. Because he failed to save, he's also prone at the bottom of this fissure. Anything else? A creature standing on the spot with a blah blah blah. Dex save or fall in. Yada yada yada. A fissure that opens beneath a structure causes it to collapse. It's a concentration spell, so when you cast at the start of your next turn, if you're still concentrating on it, you can cast it again or do something with it. All right, that was a good turn, Duple. A good use of your action surge, I would say, and a good use of
He
3 of
leveled
your
up.
advantages. Duple
Yeah,
immediately levels
it was
up.
worth it. It was worth
That's
it. He
amazing.
finally got to see his dream of becoming a necromancer.
Awesome. All right, top of the round, Myconel.
Bloody hell. Okay, well, I
shall say, sorry, just one more thing for flavour. You'll see down the bottom of the fissures, there is not exactly lava, but there is a hot heat that's coming from there, which is unusual because natural heat in this world has been relatively rare in the last 11 years since the god of fire, the whatever he was called, something like the flowing flame.
Emberflow.
Emberflow, that's it. Since the Emberflow was disconnected from the world, natural heat has been somewhat lacking, but there is a heat down the bottom of it, and there is like for those more perceptive among you, you hear this sort of that's coming from down the bottom of this fissure as well, as Poople is like, yeah, there it is. That's my friend. He's opening up some sort of portals to hell.
I don't like that.
Myconel.
Okay, in that case, I feel like we need to bury this thing to keep it down, restore it to the to the world. I don't know what I, Myconel, am trying to necessarily do here, but I want to use some flavor text, DM, to cause to cast mass healing word.
Ooh.
But to use it to heal the god back into the ground?
Yes, okay, yeah, I like this. Okay. Mass healing word, you're going to target, because he's so large, I'll say that you can sort of target different body parts as different creatures, so you can use all of the mass healing word on him. How many targets can it target usually? 6? 10? 6? I think, is it 6 or 10? Or any creatures you can see. I can't remember.
Up to 6 creatures of your choice.
Up to 6, so you can put all 6 of them into him and heal him. So the healing word is a d4 plus something, right?
2d4 plus 1.
2d4 plus 1, so 12d4 plus 1. So you can just roll it on all as... if you've got 12d4, you can do it, or you can do it on an app, or ask me to do it.
Yeah, do you want to roll it?
Yep, I got 12d4 right here.
Go for it.
12d4, that's 21. 21 plus 6, so 27 points of healing to this guy. He's just taken 20 points of bludgeoning from the thing, but it overheals him from the damage he's taken. I will have you make a check to see if what your intention is coming through with the gods of the trinities and whatnot. Okay. Let's make it either a religion check or a wisdom check, just a straight riz. In fact,
can I persuade? Can I persuade him to go back into the ground? Go and shh, sleep now, sleep. Go sleep.
Hush, little darling, don't say a word. I will.
Baby needs a nap.
I will say. Wait. You're trying to heal him into the ground. Yes, you can. Yeah.
Persuade him to sleep.
Yes, because you are calling on the effects of one of the other now gods, the Trinity. You are basically you are calling on them with your healing magic to be like, hey, come here and talk to this guy for me. So it's convincing to get into the ground.
I like it. I'm going to use one of my advantages, my last one, to make that a 22.
Ooh. Okay, with a 22, you call on the Trinity. Is one of the Trinity more associated with healing, or?
There's one of peace,
right?
Yeah.
One of them is called Peace. So she emerges. Which one of the cast was it in session 1?
Peace was Dale's character.
Dale's character? Okay, so Dale's character, whatever they looked like, I don't remember. I can't remember. Just a while ago.
Air Genasi.
Look, an Air Genasi. An Air Genasi appears, but like of size category large. This sort of angel seems to emerge from standing next to this guy down on the ground, hovering just above the ground, so that the weird sort of heat and tentacles can't reach out and grab her. From Pooples is like, oh, this is going to be fun. Well, let's watch this. Let's watch this. My friends and your friends having a little altercation. This is going to be interesting. She hovers just above the ground. And as this Edgenas kind of just stands there, almost just as ethereal as she was in life, and more so actually glowing with this radiance, she sort of reaches out and heals him of his busted ankle as he fell into this fissure, and then sort of takes his face. And she's a lot smaller than he is because she's a lesser god and he's an avatar of a greater god. And she, with your very persuasive argument, she talks through you. You guys hear Mechanal talking up the top of the fissure, and you can hear that down below, in a very echoey kind of way, she is saying the same words as Mechanal is saying. So, what do you want to say to him, Mechanal?
It's okay to be angry. Maybe you just need a nap or some food. Sometimes I just like to close my eyes, let the world embrace me, and remember that tomorrow's gonna be a better day.
So much pain.
Yeah, it's okay. Sleep, little godling. Just go to sleep, please.
So tired.
Yes, you're feeling sleepy.
You see the vines across his rock-like golem body start to retract in, and his body starts to shrink down as the individual parts seem to fold into themselves. He's getting smaller and more spherical as he goes.
Return me to the skies.
And then he's asleep back in his heart of the ever growth. However, he is 60 feet down into a fissure now, which is already at the bottom of the entire mine shaft. So how you're going to get him out of here is your next challenge. You have managed to persuade him to go to sleep with a couple of very good rolls there. What do you guys do now?
Does he look like small enough to be carried by one person, or does it need multiple of us to pick him
Oh,
up?
it'll probably take a couple. Like somebody of the Goliath size, maybe. Like it is. He's a 4-foot boulder. So
We have a gorilla.
Oh,
I'm
you
a
have a gorilla, of
giant
course. Yeah, the giant ape would definitely be able to get in. Yes, 100%.
Can I just kind of, 1 minute, and just kind of down and go, ooh, shiny.
Just picks it, he clambers down. As you
Ooh,
get down
yeah.
to the, as you get down to the bottom, I need a wisdom saving throw, please, as you are entering the realm of Poople.
Oh boy.
You are
Ooh.
entering Poople's realm down here.
Ooh, Rob, what time of day is it?
Yes. It is whatever time of day gives you bonuses to something. So
Yeah.
it is noon, let's say, because it's noon, the god of noon, which was the peace god, right?
Yeah, got a piece.
Perfect. Because the god of peace, it's not actually noon, it's like towards the middle of the night. But because the avatar of the god of peace is down in this pit with you, her aura is giving you advantage on. Oh, and you never ate the fucking muffin that I gave you that gave you a whole bunch of buffs for this fight. By the way,
Oops.
if any of you had eaten, saving it for later. Yeah, saving that hero's feast for later. Hero's feast. Hero's feast with an added bonus of you can cast haste on yourself once during the duration whenever you want to, and so you're just like, nah, we'll save those for later. You it could have been more obvious as well. I was like, this food that's fit for a hero, this feast that's fit for a hero, and then you were like, I'm not gonna eat it. So you have advantage on the wisdom save because of Penelope, not because of your hero's feast. What was your wisdom save, Monkey Boy?
So I'm advantage on this?
Advantage on the wisdom save. Yep.
I will just not burn the wisdom save here, the one that I had. So I will keep the roll, which is it's a 14.
14. Okay, 14 is just enough. It's actually one less, but for the sake of brevity, we're running out of time, and I'll say you managed to you feel for a moment. I'll give you some of the damage. We'll compromise. You take you take 24 points of psychic damage. That was half of the damage you would have taken. You take 24 points of psychic damage as the whispers start to. And suddenly, like, you start to see eyeballs opening up in the rock face as you're climbing down into this fissure. And you're like, that's a bit weird. And you just kind of push on past it. Never mind. You pick up the rock at the bottom of this thing, and then climb back up, like King Kong climbing the building with one hand. You get back up, and you have the pillar filled with vines on your way back up again. You all
put it down.
For brevity's sake. For brevity's sake, you all clamber back up. I just climb on the back of the gorilla and he takes you up. You get back up this vine-filled shaft, which, if you hadn't have dealt with the evergrowth and you just tried to escape, the vines were all going to come to life and try and grab you on the way back up, like the hands from Labyrinth. But you dealt with the evergrowth, you got him on side with your persuasion checks and stuff, so you managed to get all the way back up the vine-filled mine shaft, back into the surface level of the City of Seven Bridges. And you have, I believe, with Polymorph, an hour, right?
Yes.
So you have like 50 minutes left of this form carrying this boulder to get out of the city. You start to get accosted by a couple of the bandits and things with lightning, and they're like, "Who's this?" as the first couple of you walk by. And then as soon as the first couple of you walk by, then the gorilla walks around a building, and they're like, "Nope, none of that, nope." Not that one. And they just let you go. You make your way out of the city, and you start to head back south towards your home city in the religious district of Masadan. After about 50 minutes, the form drops and the boulder just.
Oh, I didn't even hear like a shot put. Oh, hard. Oh.
What is the what do you guys do to get the rock back from here? You're about a few hours walk away from home.
I think Duples is the only one that can handle this thing.
Duples, make me an athletics check.
My question is, how do we get it back in the sky?
Seems
Not
like
our
a problem.
problem.
Seems like a problem
Yeah.
for the next game.
19.
A 19. All right, with a 19, it takes you some time, but you manage to get it up onto your back, and and very slowly struggling along. Walking forwards, you take a couple of days to get back until you eventually find like a cart or something, and you can put it on that and get back home. Through traveling for some time, you eventually make it all the way back to your hometown with the heart of the Evergrowth, one of the 5 gods that was disconnected. And through their religious studies, they may be able to connect with this in some way and work out what has happened and how to return the gods to this world. And that sounds like a good place for the story to continue with the next game. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for being here for this game, for game number 3. This is we're not even at the halfway point of this 48-hour stream. But we are going to go to break right now, and then we will be back with a world-building stream with some awesome people joining us. Gnome Anne, Mindari, and Devon from Total Party Chill. But for now, you guys please explain who you are and where you can be found on the internets and the webs, starting with Dingo.
Hi, I'm Dingo. I'm from the YouTube channel Dingo Doodles. I animate a campaign called Fool's Gold, and that's been my life for 5 years, so maybe go check it out. There's like 32 episodes.
It is so fucking good. It is so good. It'll have you crying all of the time.
Incredible.
Yes, weep for me. But yeah, you can find me on all social medias. Just look up Dingo Doodles. I usually have the handle. So, yeah, that's
Very
me.
nice. Thank you so much. Mikey, who are you?
Yes. Andy
I'm
and
jumping
I
into Mike's frame over here, and I'm sitting next to him.
are both from Legends of Evantris. We stream on Twitch. We put all our stuff on YouTube. We cut it up into shorts. We're basically everywhere. You can find us wherever there's short form content, plus Twitch. And so Legends of Evantris, we stream at a minimum once a week, sometimes 2 or 3. We're actually launching a brand new Patreon exclusive campaign every single week, the Shroud over Saltmarsh. So check out our Patreon. And we also concluded the Crooked Moon, our very first Kickstarter campaign, a 5th edition supplement for folk horror. You can still pre-order that, do upgrades, all of that goodness at thecrookedmoon.com. That's where you find us, right?
Yeah, that's where you find us.
I love it. Perfect. And thank you so much to the Robert Hartley GM for taking over for the last 7
you.
hours
Thank you. Yeah, it has been a while now.
while I slept. Yeah, you need to go
I
do
should
that.
go and eat something. Yes. I'm Robert Hartley GM. I'm a full-time dungeon master, Dungeons and Dragons content creator all over the internet. I'm most well known for being the DM for a comedy group called Viva La Dirt League, where we've got a long-running actual play campaign. It's cut into half-hour chunks. It's comedy-like. You can binge it relatively easily and keep up to date with it. If you go there and see, holy shit, 160 episodes. This is too daunting to pick up with. We've got recap episodes as well, so you can get up to date and catch up to the story. Outside of Viva La Dirt League, I do my own stuff all over the internet at Robert Hartley GM. I've got the handle on all of your favorite platforms. And if you liked what I did today with no time for prep and pretty much improvising the whole thing, imagine what I can do with my prepared campaigns, where I can have much better tie-ins and such.
You did an
go check
amazing
me out
job.
all over the internet. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, AJ, for having me and allowing me to trust me with your channel.
Yes, it's been amazing to actually have the trust for both yourself and the playmat to hand over the stream and just go to sleep. It's just see what I wake up to in the morning. It's been amazing. So thank you for joining us. We're gonna go to break and we'll be back with some more awesome people as we continue this 48 hours. So thank you so much, and thank you to all of the donations getting us to 56% of the goal.
You guys
What
rock.
the crap?
Thank you very much.
Wow.
Very cool of
Already?
you.
Insane.
Dang.
Thank you so much, and we will see
Bye.
you there. See you
Love
later.
you guys.
Bye.
Goodbye.